Urban Cultivation, starting my immortal path from key refining level 1. Hey! Look who's back for more adventures. We love having you here to continue this story that keeps us all awake. Important note, all of this is pure fiction, so don't try any techniques you hear here in real life, your neighbor might call the cops. This amazing novel and all its rights belong to the original author, we're just the ones giving it voice and drama. Are you enjoying the show? Prove it by subscribing to our YouTube channel and leaving that like that motivates us so much. And if you want VIP access to exclusive content, our Patreon is waiting with things you won't find anywhere else. Chapter 701, Courtesy. Okay, Xuantian agreed, then, not daring to linger, he hurriedly left the underground prison, holding the void tower above his head. After Xuantian left, Jin Kai sat cross-legged, continuously chanting the heart-clearing mantra. For a moment, the prison was enveloped by a radiant Buddha's light, accompanied by equally powerful dark forces. This time, the two intertwined, each evenly matched. Although this didn't completely restore Jin Kai's sanity, it was the best possible outcome for Jilfang Mountain and Qian Shangsu. At the very least, Jin Kai would likely not attempt to break the Jilfang Mountain formation for a long time to come, finally enjoying some peace and quiet. Returning to the ice cave, Xuantian put away the void tower and couldn't help but gasp. Going deep underground to encounter the horrors was too risky. A single mistake could easily lead to his own death. Of course, the risks and rewards were equal. Xuantian's transmission of the heart-clearing mantra to Jin Kai would help him regain his sanity and would undoubtedly be a significant aid in the near future. As long as Jin Kai was there, the Outer Realm Immortal Emperors were nothing to fear. Even if the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor himself came, he would return in defeat, perhaps even remaining on Earth forever. However, Xuantian pondered, according to Jin Kai, the Ancestral Dragon was fully capable of dealing with the three Outer Realm Immortal Emperors. So why did he shatter the void and leave Earth over 2,000 years ago? Could there be a more terrifying force behind the Flame Dragon Emperor and the other two, secretly manipulating everything? Did the Ancestral Dragon, knowing this, temporarily avoid the limelight, choose to retreat, and journey alone into the Outer Realm chaos, seeking a glimmer of hope? These questions remain unanswered. Xuantian stopped dwelling on them, his gaze settling on Jin Shangsu. Jin Shangsu lay peacefully in her coffin, the pain on her face gone, a look of tranquility and peace. Seeing this, Xuantian smiled with relief. As long as Xuer was safe, any risk he took was worth it. Xuantian, at that moment, Wu Qingying's voice echoed from within the ice cave. Then, Xuantian saw Wu Qingying approaching with a smile on her face. Senior, you're quite free. You stay away when things are going wrong. Now that it's resolved, you show up again, Xuantian said indifferently, clearly still brooding over Wu Qingying's departure. Ahem, Wu Qingying, slightly embarrassed, chuckled softly, I wouldn't be able to help much by staying here. You know that. Rather than that, it's better for me to leave. This will give you a better space to showcase your abilities, so, I should thank you, Xuantian said unhappily. That's not necessary, Wu Qingying smiled and then asked, I sensed a great terror below. The demonic power emanating from me has weakened considerably, seemingly suppressed. Xuantian, what did you do down there? Is it resolved, senior? If you want to know, why don't you just go down and take a look yourself, Xuantian said with a smile. You brat, Wu Qingying looked at Xuantian and smiled gently, your bad habit of holding grudges is just like your great-grandfather. I just threw the problem to you and asked you to solve it, and you treated me like this. Young people nowadays, are they so magnanimous? Senior, you are talking without any pain in your waist. Do you know what I went through down there? Xuantian met Wu Qingying's gaze and deliberately said miserably, that devilish Jin Kai pinched my neck and almost strangled me to death, also, he almost broke my body. If it weren't for my strong bones, I would have lost my arms and legs long ago, Xuantian continued, now that I have stabilized the situation and helped your Jilfang Mountain a lot, senior, tell me, how do you want to make it up to me? Wu Qingying asked back, Xuer gave birth to 2 children for you. You are the son-in-law of my Jilfang Mountain. It is my duty to resolve the crisis for Jilfang Mountain. Why are you putting forward conditions, one thing at a time? Don't play the emotional card, Xuantian said firmly, I'm saving Xuer, but I'm also helping Jilfang Mountain. For that alone, you have to give me thousands of energy stones. If you don't have energy stones, a few dozen old medicinal herbs will do. You can't let me work in vain, okay, Xuantian, After all that beating around the bush, now this is what you mean. Wu Qingying, leaning on her cane, couldn't help but laugh. It seems I underestimated you before. You're smarter than your great-grandfather. Since you've asked, I should agree to it for Su Wuji's sake. After all, he gave me a piece of the Void Tower fragment back then. Wu Qingying smiled and pulled out a crystal-clear round stone from her stored ring. It was only the size of a fist, but it exuded a magnificent spiritual energy. This is called the Xianitun stone. The spiritual energy contained in it is equivalent to 30,000 to 50,000 energy stones. I'll give it to you today, just in case you need it. Xianitun stone. Su Yang was overjoyed. In fact, he had no desire to ask Wu Qingying for anything. 6 months of seclusion had nearly depleted Su Yang's storage ring, leaving him without even the energy stones needed to replenish his spiritual energy. The spiritual energy between heaven and earth was incredibly scarce, and if combat depleted it, replenishing it would be a challenge. That was why Su Yang had half-jokingly asked Wu Qingying for some cultivation supplies. But Su Yang had never expected Wu Qingying to be so generous, offering something as top-tier as the Xianitun stone. Wu Qingying had said 30 or 50,000 energy stones was too little. According to Su Yang's estimation, the spiritual energy contained in this fist-sized Xianitun stone was at least as much as 80,000 ordinary energy stones. This, Su Yang was somewhat flattered, feigning a refusal. Senior, this is too valuable. I'm afraid I can't afford it. Oh, so I'll keep it then, Wu Qingying said, half smiling, then pretending to place the Xianitun stone into her stored ring. Senior, seeing this, Su Yang's heart tightened. Will you stop being polite to me? No, Wu Qingying shook her head. I don't have that bad habit. How can it be a bad habit? Being polite is a traditional virtue of ours. You give me something, I pretend not to want it, and you insist on giving it to me. Over and over again, doesn't that strengthen our bond? Su Yang muttered. Senior, don't play by the rules. Oh, sorry, I didn't give you the chance to show off. Wu Qingying apologized deeply, then smiled. How about I ask again, will you? Come on. Su Yang was eager to try. Su Yang, this Yuan stone is for you. Wu Qingying smiled, intending to tease Su Yang once more. When Su Yang refused, she would stop pushing him around and simply put the Yuan stone away. With her actions, she would teach Su Yang a hard lesson, the meaninglessness of so-called politeness. Okay, thank you, senior, but who would have thought that Su Yang would actually run over, take the Xianitun stone, and put it into his storage ring smoothly. Chapter 702. The second day. Wu Qingying stood there in bewilderment, her expression stiff. After a pause, she realized what was happening, and now it was her turn to frown. You, boy, you just said I wasn't playing by the rules. What are you doing now? Didn't we agree on some politeness? You refused, but I insisted, to strengthen our relationship. What's going on now? Well, senior, I think you have a point. Being polite is a bad habit, Su Yang said righteously. You're Zuir's grandmother, and therefore my grandmother. Being polite to your own grandmother would be too awkward. You, boy, you're so cunning, Wu Qingying said, feeling both amused and embarrassed. Haha, Su Yang chuckled softly. Senior, do you still have something as valuable as the Xianitun stone? You're an ancient warrior, you don't need it. If you still have any, give them to me. I'll maximize their usefulness, Su Yang said, pressing forward. No more, just this one, Wu Qingying responded truthfully, and then asked, Su Yang, what happened to the Great Terror down there? Have you seen him? Yeah, Su Yang nodded and said, yes, he did. He didn't go astray in his practice, but chose to sacrifice his spiritual intelligence. This is more complicated to explain. Anyway, I passed on a secret technique to him, and I believe he will be able to suppress the devil in his body soon. Senior, this Great Terror is really terrifying. If he can suppress the devil and walk out from the foot of Jiufang Mountain, the earth will no longer be afraid of outsiders, Su Yang continued. Even if the flame dragon Immortal Emperor comes in person, I'm afraid he won't be able to get any advantage, but if he can't suppress the devil, it will be a catastrophe for the earth, Su Yang said seriously. To put it simply, he is a double-edged sword. If used well, it can kill the invading enemy. If not used well, he didn't finish his words, but the meaning was obvious. Oh, Wu Qingying sighed and said, I hope it can develop in a good direction. This matter involves quite a lot. Su Yang, I hope you can keep it secret and don't tell anyone about Jing Ke. I'm afraid someone will destroy the ice cave, causing the formation to be disordered and release the evil Jing Ke in advance. Well, don't worry. You and I know about this, and heaven and earth know about it, Su Yang agreed. Okay, Wu Qingying nodded slightly, then said, it's getting late, and I should get ready. I don't know what will happen in tomorrow's battle, Senior, Su Yang said upon hearing this. I've heard about your challenge to Master Fengxi. Why don't you let me take your place and face Master Fengxi? I'm sure he won't refuse. No, Wu Qingying shook her head and said, tomorrow's battle will not only be a contest between Earth and the outside world, but also a time to prove the ancient martial arts system. Nowadays, all the famous mountains in the ancient martial arts world have been occupied by outsiders, and the morale of the ancient martial arts world is low. As the #1 ancient martial artist, I must find them and face Master Fengxi with the ancient martial arts system to show everyone that the ancient martial arts system is not weak. Wu Qingying glanced at Su Yang and continued, and one more thing, I'm afraid you're no match for Master Fengxi. I see that your realm is only the early nascent soul stage. Even if you are very powerful and can fight against those at a higher level and defeat those at the peak of the nascent soul stage, you may not be able to defeat Master Fengxi. Wu Qingying analyzed, young Master Fengxi is no ordinary nascent soul cultivator. He's incredibly powerful. Even at the peak of martial sainthood, I'm not entirely confident against him. Let me test him tomorrow and see what he's up to allow him to so brazenly run rampant on Earth, Wu Qingying added. Well, Senior, be careful. I'll be there to watch tomorrow, Su Yang said. Okay, Wu Qingying nodded, then asked, I'm going out now. Wanna come with me? I'll wait a little longer, until the terror down there has completely subsided, then I'll go out, Su Yang responded, then suddenly thought of his 2 children and asked, Senior, where are Yao and Xing? Why isn't there any sign of them on Jilfang Mountain? Well, Wu Qingying smiled, keeping it a secret, I won't tell you for now, but don't worry, those 2 little ones are safe. You should focus on what's next. From what I hear, the spiritual energy revival is about to begin. It's bound to be very chaotic, with all kinds of monsters and demons emerging, Wu Qingying said. As long as they were safe, Su Yang breathed a sigh of relief, then said, thank you for the reminder, Senior. I'll be careful. Okay, I'll go first. Wu Qingying nodded gently, then tapped the ground with her cane, and disappeared instantly. As for Su Yang, I sat cross-legged beside the ice coffin and quickly entered a state of cultivation. Of course. He allocated a portion of his consciousness to constantly monitor Jing Ke's condition. Only when he noticed that Jing Ke was showing signs of improvement did Su Yang slowly relax. And so, unknowingly, the next day had arrived. At this moment, Su Yang, who was cultivating, slowly opened his eyes. After a night of observation, Jing Ke's condition within the cage had improved considerably. His eyesight had regained clarity. It wouldn't be long before he could fully suppress his demonic nature. This was a very good thing. Jing Ke no longer challenged the formation. Jin Shangsu, who guarded Jilfang Mountain, naturally no longer felt the pain, breathing steadily as she lay within the coffin. Zuir, don't worry. You'll be free soon, and no longer confined to the coffin. Su Yang walked over to the coffin, took a close look at Jin Shangsu, then leaped out of the waterfall. Master, young Master Su, outside the waterfall, Nanguangyu, Wu Feng, and the 3 peak masters were waiting for Su Yang. Seeing Su Yang leap from the waterfall, they all came forward to greet him. Yes, Su Yang nodded. Young Master Su. Just then, Pan Zhoushan, one of the 8 peak masters, stepped out from the crowd, looked at Su Yang with a face full of shame, and said with a fist clasped, I apologize for my offense yesterday. I hope young Master Su doesn't mind. Of course not, Su Yang smiled gently and said, I also made some mistakes. I was too reckless. Please forgive me. Su Yang admired Pan Zhoushan's character. He spoke directly if he had anything to say, apologized directly when he made a mistake, and didn't hide it or play tricks behind people's backs. Such a person is worthy of admiration. Su Yang is soft-hearted and doesn't tolerate harshness. If you give me an inch, I will give you 10 feet. Pan Zhoushan was the first to give in, and Su Yang didn't put on airs. No, no, no. Master Su, you're just concerned about Alliance Leader Jin's safety. I understand, Pan Zhoushan sighed and continued, I'm ashamed. Yesterday, I judged you by your appearance. I thought you were so young, so I looked down on you. I didn't realize you could take my life with just a wave of your hand. Now that I think about it, I'm really ashamed. Chapter 703 Fight. Haha, now that it's over, let's not bring it up again. There's no point in talking about it anymore. Let's just let it go. Su Yang chuckled softly and asked, weren't there 8 peak masters yesterday? Why are there only 3 of you today? Where are the others? Outside Jilfang Mountain, the battle between Senior Wu and young Master Fengxi is about to begin, Pan Zhoushan replied. Yes, Su Yang nodded and said, let's go and see. I was just curious to see the so-called young Master Fengxi. Yes, Nanguangyu, Pan Zhoushan, and the other 2 peak masters agreed. Then, Su Yang and his group left the scene and headed straight for the outside of Jilfang Mountain. At this moment, outside Jilfang Mountain was bustling with activity. Today, the out-of-this-world master, young Master Fengxi, challenged the foremost ancient martial artist, Wu Qingying. The ancient martial artists who had sought refuge in Jilfang Mountain were eagerly awaiting this battle. This battle would directly determine the future of the ancient martial arts world and even the survival of Earth's native forces. The 10 ancient clans, with the exception of the Nanguang clan, had also sent representatives. The Dongfang clan, the Xiahao clan, the Wenren clan, the Zai clan, the Dugu clan, the Shangwen clan. The 10 ancient clans had challenged the major ancient clan forces for half a year. Currently, only the remnants of Earth's ancient clans remained outside Jilfang Mountain. They had come today, firstly to witness the battle between the 2 powerful warriors, and secondly to witness the final battle. If young Master Fengxi prevailed, no one in Jilfang Mountain would be able to stop them. At that point, the entire ancient martial arts world would have fallen. In short, the area outside Jilfang Mountain was bustling with activity, a sea of people. Among the crowd, a man held a feather fan and wore a silk scarf, his demeanor remarkably refined. This man was Guo Yi. After all the haste, I'm finally here. Guo Yi gently fanned his feather fan, then thought to himself, I can sense the master is nearby. My trip today wasn't in vain. I wonder how the master is doing now. Su Yang had done Guo Yi a great favor. If it weren't for Su Yang, Guo Yi wouldn't have entered the world of cultivation and might still be holed up in Jiangbei, a minor deputy captain of the secret guards. It was Su Yang who gave him a chance to start over, allowing Guo Yi to achieve his current success. Even without the soul contract, Guo Yi would still have worshipped Su Yang as his master, with immense respect. Wu Qingying, the time's up, why haven't you shown up yet? Are you afraid? At that moment, young Master Fengxi soared into the air, hovering in midair. His voice, like thunder, echoed throughout the scene. A scornful smile played on his face, and he said playfully, if you're afraid, this young master won't make things difficult for you. Come out and tell everyone that Jilfang Mountain has acceded to the outer realm, and I'll spare your life, arrogant. Presumptuous. These 2 words were perfectly portrayed by young Master Fengxi. Seeing this scene, the disciples of the various ancient clans all revealed smug smiles, and even the fox who borrowed the tiger's power felt proud. The ancient warriors who came to Wu Qingying's aid were either terrified or worried about themselves, or angry and clenched their fists. Why hasn't Senior Wu Qingying shown up yet? Is he really scared? Young Master Fengxi is so powerful. The aura he releases alone is enough to crush the peak of martial honored one. Right, shut up, everyone. Don't boost other people's morale and destroy your own prestige, okay? Senior Wu Qingying must have been delayed by something. Yes, if she was afraid, how could Senior Wu Qingying accept the challenge of young Master Fengxi? We must believe in her, damned outsider dog. You want me to surrender? It's impossible. At worst, we'll die together. 20 years later, I'll be a hero again. I'd rather die than be an outsider dog. I'd rather die than be an outsider dog. I'd rather die than be an outsider dog. I don't know who started it, but many ancient warriors at the scene repeated this sentence one after another. Haha, you're just an ant. Since you're being so rude, there's no need for you to exist. Young Master Fengxi naturally overheard these words, his expression grim. A sinister smile played across his lips, and with a wave of his hand, a terrifying surge of spiritual energy erupted, poised to annihilate the ancient warriors below. He was now at the peak of the nascent soul stage, far surpassing the ancient warriors below. Even a casual attack could still slaughter many of them. However, at the critical moment, Wu Qingying arrived and, with a similar wave of his sleeve, unleashed a terrifying surge of concentrated Zhenki. Bang! The 2 energies collided, and the next moment, a muffled sound echoed from the scene. Immediately afterwards, the terrifying aftermath of the battle rippled outward. Fortunately, the two men's clash occurred in midair, so the aftermath didn't reach the area below. Otherwise, this aftermath alone would have been enough to kill several people. After taking on Master Fengxi's attack, Wu Qingying stood below, leaning on his crutch, raised his head and looked at Master Fengxi in midair, and said in a flat tone, "Master Fengxi, your opponent is me, why bother them?" Wu Qingying, the number one in ancient martial arts, "You're finally here." Master Fengxi met Wu Qingying's gaze and smiled with satisfaction. "You are worthy of being the peak of martial saint. Your combat power is not weak. With just a casual blow, you actually blocked the power I hit. Not bad, you are qualified to be my opponent. Didn't Xiahao Wu tell you whether you are qualified?" Wu Qingying smiled lightly. "Yesterday he came to test me under your orders, and was defeated by me in one move." "Didn't he tell you when he went back?" I did let him come to test you," Master Fengxi sneered. "However, Xiahao Wu is just a waste. The 9 transformation fake pill is not up to standard after all. Wu Qingying, you have reached the peak of martial saint, comparable to the peak of nascent soul. It is truly impressive." "You're flattering," Wu Qingying replied calmly. "To be honest, I have a mild interest in ancient martial arts. Whenever I challenged the peak warriors of the renowned mountains, I always managed to lower my realm," young Master Fengxi continued. "The one who impressed me the most was Shi Haoheng from the Fengshan land. His Taishan magic was truly terrifying. If I hadn't broken the seal in time and unleashed a realm superior to his, I wouldn't have been able to suppress him. But, Wu Qingying, against you, I won't have to suppress my realm. Let's each go all out and have a fair fight. How about that?" young Master Fengxi said with a smile. "Okay." Wu Qingying leaned on a cane, looking elderly and frail, but the power in his words was heart-pounding. "Then, let's begin." As soon as he finished speaking, young Master Fengxi suddenly became serious, his body shrouded in spiritual energy. He swooped down, charging towards Wu Qingying with fierce momentum. Boom! Just before young Master Fengxi was about to strike Wu Qingying, she leaped up and vanished instantly. Young Master Fengxi missed his attack, and a deep pit with a diameter of 3 or 4 meters was directly created on the ground. Chapter 704, Not Optimistic. Interesting. After failing to hit the target, Master Fengxi raised the corner of his mouth slightly, and then continued to pursue. This time, Wu Qingying did not choose to dodge, but took the initiative to meet Master Fengxi with his crutch. Bang! The two collided in midair, and their true energy and spiritual energy formed 2 different protective shields, protecting Wu Qingying and Master Fengxi respectively. In this way, the two of them were deadlocked for more than 10 seconds, and neither could do anything to the other, so they dispersed and then rushed forward again. Bang! 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 Then, the two of them kept fighting in midair, fighting so hard that it was impossible to tell who was winning or losing. To be more specific, it should be because the figures could not be seen. Because Wu Qingying and Master Fengxi were too fast, even a cultivator at the peak of the foundation building stage could not catch them. Since they could not even see the people, it was naturally impossible to tell who had the upper hand. Is this the peak of the martial saint? So powerful, Senior Wu Qingying, the eternal god. It's said that young Master Fengxi is at the peak of the nascent soul stage. Senior Wu Qingying is not at a disadvantage in terms of realm. I wonder how the battle went. You must win, Senior Wu Qingying, keep going. If you lose, the ancient martial world will be destroyed. Just one young Master Fengxi is on par with Senior Wu Qingying. There are 10 such masters in the outer realm. Even if Senior Wu Qingying wins, the ancient martial world still can't escape this catastrophe. A pessimist mentioned other masters from the outer realm, and the crowd of ancient martial artists at the scene fell silent. That's right. Even if they defeated young Master Fengxi, the ancient martial world still couldn't escape the purge of masters from the outer realm. Moreover, Senior Wu Qingying might not be able to defeat young Master Fengxi at this point. Thinking of this, everyone was filled with worry, their faces all grim. Meanwhile, Su Yang, accompanied by Nanguanyu, Pan Zhoushan, and 2 other peak masters, arrived at the scene, where they met Qianian Shan and the other peak masters. Su Yang, you're finally out, Qianian Shan greeted him warmly upon seeing him. Grandpa Jin, Su Yang replied with a polite smile, then asked, how is the battle going? As he spoke, Su Yang also shifted his gaze to the 2 men fighting high in the sky. It's a stalemate. If this continues, the situation won't be optimistic, Qianian Shan sighed and said, after all, The old woman is old and her health isn't what it used to be. This can't be compensated by realm. That young Master Fengxi has strong ki and blood. If this continues, the old woman might be defeated by physical strength, Qianian Sha said worriedly. Su Yang expanded his spiritual sense and observed, his expression grim. Indeed, as Qianian Sha had said, Wu Qingying and young Master Fengxi were equally powerful. However, Wu Qingying was already in her twilight years, her ki and blood were depleted, and she couldn't withstand the strain of a prolonged battle. If Wu Qingying couldn't quickly resolve the battle, she would likely become weaker and weaker. As one side gained strength while the other lost, the gap would become apparent. In the end, young Master Fengxi had a strong chance of victory. However, Su Yang vaguely sensed that Wu Qingying wasn't as simple as she appeared, and must be hiding something. Even outsiders could see that Wu Qingying couldn't fight a protracted war, so how could she not know that? Yet, Wu Qingying remained calm, gradually wearing down Master Fengxi's power. Clearly, she had a hidden weapon. The reason she hadn't used it was probably because she was testing Master Fengxi's abilities, hoping to find out before striking. With this thought in mind, Su Yang smiled and spoke soothingly, Grandpa Jin, don't worry. Senior Wu has his own plan. Don't worry about her. Yes, Qianian Sha nodded, then suddenly asked, Su Yang, I heard from the old woman that you've reached the nascent soul stage. I remember the last time we met, you were just building your foundation. I didn't expect you to make such incredible progress in just 6 months. It's truly impressive, Qianian Sha said with a hint of pride. You're worthy of being my grandson-in-law. You're a promising young man, Grandpa Jin, you're too kind. Su Yang smiled softly. At the same time, he sensed Guo Yi's location in the crowd and immediately shifted his gaze. Soon, Su Yang noticed Guo Yi, and Guo Yi also looked at Su Yang, and the two of them stared at each other from a distance. Grandpa Jin, I ran into someone I know. I'll talk to you later. Su Yang smiled, then looked at Nanguangyu and said, Nanguangyu, you stay here. While I'm gone, you must obey Grandpa Jin's instructions. I'll be back soon. Yes, Nanguangyu replied respectfully. Su Yang, there are many people in Jilfang Mountain today. Be careful, Qianian Sha warned. Yes, Su Yang nodded, gave Guo Yi a look through the air, and then leaped and disappeared from the spot. At the same time, Guo Yi disappeared from the crowd and followed Su Yang's footsteps. A few minutes later, 10 miles away from Jilfang Mountain, Su Yang stopped and stood under a large tree. He said calmly, Guo Yi, come out, whoosh. The next moment, Guo Yi appeared before Su Yang, his emotions extremely excited. Master! Master! Guo Yi knelt on one knee and looked at Su Yang excitedly. He seemed to have a lot to say but didn't know where to start. Su Yang looked at Guo Yi carefully, a smile playing on his face. He said with relief, it's been so long since we last met. I didn't expect to meet you here today. When I gave you a few energy stones and asked you to leave Jiangbei and venture out on your own, I simply thought you were very talented. Jiangbei's resources are limited, and staying with me would only bury you. Su Yang continued with a smile, but I never expected you to achieve such success. In just over half a year, you've reached the nascent soul stage. It's truly astonishing, Master, you're so kind, Guo Yi said gratefully. I owe my current achievements to you, Master, for guiding me into the world of cultivation. I'll always remember that, haha, I'm just your guide. This is all due to your own hard work. Su Yang looked at Guo Yi and couldn't help but ask curiously, what have you been through in the past 6 months or so? How did you progress so quickly, from key training to nascent soul, let alone on Earth, where spiritual energy is so scarce? Even in the blessed lands of other star regions, it would be difficult to achieve such an achievement, Su Yang said with a puzzled look on his face. What's more, the Earth is under the rule of the extraterritorial Immortal Emperor. Cultivators cannot set foot on the Earth to form a den. Otherwise they will suffer an ominous backlash. As he was speaking, Su Yang suddenly realized that the feather fan in Guo Yi's hand was no ordinary item. It actually revealed the power of an imperial weapon, which was frightening. So he asked, is it related to the feather fan in your hand? Yes, Guo Yi did not hide anything and said frankly, the feather fan in my hand is called King Fang Fan, but it's just a replica, with only 1/10 of the power of the real thing, Guo Yi continued, but even so, I can't activate it at will now, otherwise I will suffer a backlash. Chapter 705 Guo Yi's story. King Fang Fan, 1/10 of the power of the imperial weapon. Su Yang knew in his heart that Guo Yi must have had a fortuitous encounter. In the world of cultivation, everyone has some secrets, more or less. It is not convenient to ask too much about such things, so as not to cause dissatisfaction to the other party and hurt the harmony. Although Su Yang was Guo Yi's master, he felt it was inconvenient to inquire about his fortune, so he said, "Guo Yi, just pretend you didn't hear my question just now. You don't have to answer, master. What are you talking about? Even if you didn't ask, I would have told you. I have no secrets from you." Guo Yi seriously opened up, saying, "Well, after leaving Jiangbei, I went to the western provinces. There, I met some people, made a few friends, and improved my skills." Guo Yi continued, "During that time, I was doing okay. My friend was doing business on the Juman black market, and I helped him, occasionally buying a few energy stones at a low price. My friend would usually shop at farmers' homes in the surrounding mountains, spending money to buy medicinal herbs or old items from the farmers and women. Everything went smoothly, but then one day, my friend bought a feather fan from an old farmer and brought it to the Juman black market to sell." At this point, Guo Yi's face showed sorrow as he spoke slowly. As a result, trouble arose. He was targeted by the Zhihao family. The Zhihao family is no ordinary secular family. It even surpasses the major sects in the ancient martial arts world and is one of the 10 ancient clans. Guo Yi looked at Su Yang and asked respectfully, "Master, I have heard about your recent deeds. When you initiated the ancient martial arts reform, the 10 ancient clans tried to stop you. I believe you should have some understanding of the 10 ancient clans." "Yes," Su Yang nodded and said, "Please continue." "Yes," Guo Yi agreed, then said, "Since you know about this, I will not say much about the Zhihao family. The Zhihao family is used to being domineering. They must have realized that the feather fan my friend was selling contained spiritual energy and was not an ordinary item, so they wanted it, but they just didn't want to spend money to buy it. My friend bought it for 100,000 and sold it for 120,000. He didn't raise the price. With the financial resources of the Zhihao family, 120,000 is nothing. It's just the cost of a meal." Guo Yi gritted his teeth and said, "But they refused to buy and just tried to rob him. Plus, they didn't reveal their identities at the time, so my friend naturally refused and even called the black market manager, but it was to no avail. Although the Zhihao family is powerful, the leader didn't act too recklessly in public, fearing a negative impact and bringing discredit to the Zhihao family, so he temporarily let my friend go." Guo Yi continued, "That night, my friend left the Juman black market. I ran into him outside. He secretly gave me the feather fan and told me to take it and get as far away as possible, because, while at the black market, my friend accidentally saw the man who was trying to rob him. He had the Zhihao family badge hanging around his waist. He knew he had offended the Zhihao family and would surely die even if he offered the feather fan. That's why he let you escape with it." As Guo Yi spoke, his eyes welling up. "I didn't understand why at the time. Just when I wanted to ask for clarification, the Zhihao family members caught up with us. My friend pretended not to know me, and wrapped his clothes tightly, pretending that the feather fan was in his arms, and then ran away for his life. But he didn't run far before he was caught up by the Zhihao family and killed directly." Guo Yi said, gritting his teeth, "I still remember the way the leading lady of the Zhihao family stepped on my friend's body. I hated it. I hated that I didn't have the strength at that time and could only watch my friend being killed. The matter has passed. Please accept my condolences." Su Yang comforted. "Yes," Guo Yi nodded, and then continued, "After my friend died, I didn't stay. I took the feather fan and left the scene as fast as I could. The people of the Zhihao family didn't find the feather fan on my friend. They quickly reacted and started chasing me." Guo Yi smiled bitterly. "I was only at the 4th level of key training at the time, and the people of the Zhihao family had masters of foundation building. How could I escape? Soon, they forced me to a cliff. I had no choice but to jump down." Guo Yi laughed at himself. The result was just like in martial arts novels. "Not only did I not die, but after I woke up, I met an old senior who saved me and looked for herbs to heal my wounds. The old senior also said that he came here for the feather fan. Master, now you should know the name of the feather fan." "Well, it's the Kingfan fan," Su Yang nodded. "Yes." Guo Yi glanced at the Kingfang fan in his hand, and then said, "I know that with my strength, I can't keep the feather fan. In addition, I can see that the old senior is not an ordinary person. so I gave him the feather fan and said it was to repay his life-saving grace, but in fact, I want to throw the hot potato to him. Although he saved me, it was also for the feather fan. In my eyes, he is no different from the people of the Xiahou family. Let them fight, only in this way can I have a chance to escape from the side of the Xiahou family. When I become stronger, I will definitely avenge my friends. At this point, Guo Yi smiled bitterly, but who knew that the old senior saw through my thoughts at a glance. Old senior, who is he? Do you know his identity? Su Yang asked curiously. Yes, Guo Yi nodded slightly, then continued, at first, I didn't know who he was, but after he saw through me, he wasn't angry. He took me away and didn't even ask for the King Fang fan, but gave it to me directly. He also said that the King Fang fan was originally his, but was lost in some accident and picked up by an old farmer, leading to this murder. I didn't directly question whether what he said was true or not, but I was completely powerless in front of him, so I had no choice but to follow him. Guo Yi continued, he took me to a picturesque valley, taught me the methods of cultivation, and even helped me practice personally. I soon reached the foundation establishment stage. Let's get to the point. Who is this old senior? Su Yang pressed. He is Guguzi. Guo Yi didn't elaborate, and spoke directly. Su Yang was surprised. Zuan Wei Zhenren, Guguzi, from the history books, it's him. Guo Yi responded, I was surprised too. I used to think of him as a historical figure, distant. I didn't expect to meet the real person. Chapter 706, Battle in the Clouds. Haha, Guo Yi, this is all fate. Su Yang chuckled, then asked in confusion, why would Guguzi help you? He saw my talent and wanted to take me in as his disciple, Guo Yi said hesitantly, seeming rather embarrassed. Fuck, Su Yang grew even more excited, happy for Guo Yi. Guguzi disciples, those are figures worthy of being written into history books. Guo Yi, I never thought you'd become his disciple, master. I refused, Guo Yi said. Su Yang asked in confusion, why? What's wrong with you? With such a great opportunity, why would you refuse? I regret it too, Guo Yi suddenly said with regret. At first, I didn't know his identity, so I used you as an excuse, saying I needed master's approval to become his disciple, so I turned him down, but then, when he told me he was Guguzi, I immediately regretted it. But the words weren't already out, and I had to maintain my image, so I had to decline with tears in my eyes. Guo Yi smiled wryly. You? Su Yang felt a sense of disappointment, unsure what to say. Master, it's not a big problem. Although I haven't become your disciple, Senior Gugu has been very good to me and helped me reach the middle stage of the nascent soul. Guo Yi smiled lightly and said, he is very good at fortune telling and seems to know a lot of things. He asked me to bring the King Fang fan and come out to help you complete the recovery of your spiritual energy. Originally, I wanted to go to Jiangbei, but I sensed your aura nearby, so I stayed in Jilfang Mountain. At this point, Guo Yi said with a worried look on his face, Master, I'm afraid Jilfang Mountain can't be defended today. I noticed that among the 10 ancient clans, there are vague auras of 2 nascent soul cultivators, and both are stronger than me. Guo Yi guessed, they should be 2 of the 10 masters from outside the domain who came to Earth this time. If this is the case, then the strength of the 2 of them must be similar to that of young Master Fengxi. They are both at the peak of the nascent soul and cannot be contended with. Well, you sensed it right. Su Yang nodded and said, there are indeed peak nascent soul cultivators on the scene, but they are not impossible to contend with. Guo Yi, if you use the King Fang fan, what is your true combat effectiveness? Su Yang asked. Guo Yi thought for a moment, then said seriously, it should be possible to stop a peak nascent soul, but I can't hold on for too long. 10 minutes should not be a problem, that's enough. Su Yang smiled when he heard this, leave the remaining 1 to me. I will kill 1 within 10 minutes. After that, you and I will join forces, and that 1 won't be able to escape. Master, your strength, what? You don't believe that I can kill a peak nascent soul within 10 minutes? Su Yang asked with a smile. Believe it? Seeing his master's confidence, Guo Yi breathed a sigh of relief and said respectfully, then do as you say. Make sure these outsiders never return. Not only that, Su Yang's eyes were cold as he said in a deep voice, let's clean up the 10 ancient clans while we're at it. They've been aiding and abetting the evil for so long. It's time to settle accounts with them before the spiritual energy revives. Yes, Guo Yi gritted his teeth and said, after I emerged from seclusion, I haven't had time to seek revenge on the Xiahou clan. Master, leave the Xiahou clan to me. I noticed that Miss Xiahao is among the Xiahao clan's exiles. I held back to avoid alerting them. Okay, Su Yang naturally wouldn't refuse. Buzz. As the two men spoke, an incredibly terrifying aura suddenly erupted from the sky beneath Jilfang Mountain. Immediately afterwards, a surge of mighty hanky soared into the sky, shaking the heavens and the earth. The key fluctuations. It's Wu Kengying. It seems Wu Kengying is immobilized and has used her trump card to quickly resolve the battle. Su Yang urged, Guo Yi, let's go and take a look. Yes, Guo Yi responded respectfully. Then, Su Yang and Guo Yi left, one after the other, heading straight for the foot of Jilfang Mountain. At this moment, at the foot of Jilfang Mountain, everyone's eyes were fixed on the sky, hoping to witness the battle between Wu Kengying and young Master Fengxi. However, with their eyesight, they could see nothing at all, only the collision of ki and spiritual energy in the clouds. This is the battle between a martial saint and a nascent soul cultivator. The fight has reached the sky. How terrifying! A battle in the clouds is rare. Could they possibly shatter the heavens? How is that possible? Shattering the void is an ability only possessed by the Emperor realm. A nascent soul cultivator certainly can't do it. I wonder how Senior Wu Kengying is doing now, and if he can suppress young Master Fengxi. Although we can't see the battle footage, the energy sources used by each are different. Senior Wu Kengying cultivates the ancient martial arts system, using Zhenki, while young Master Fengxi cultivates this Henki system. From the current situation, it seems Senior Wu Kengying has the upper hand. The crowd below was buzzing with discussion. Those below the martial honor realm couldn't see it, but those at the martial honor realm could. The 8 peak masters stared upwards, their faces beaming with joy. However, Millennium Killer sighed, a hint of worry on his face. Kengying is worthy of being the #1 in ancient martial arts. Such methods are astonishing. In an instant, the ki and blood returned to their peak. I'm afraid that only a cultivator in the spirit transformation realm can suppress a martial saint in this state. You shouldn't call her Kengying. Although we are from the same generation, nowadays, we should call her Senior. Haha, it's been changed to Senior a long time ago. She is the #1 in the ancient martial arts world. We old guys will never catch up with her in this lifetime. This battle must be over soon. With the strength currently displayed by young Master Fengxi, he is simply no match for Senior Wu Kengying. Alice, you only see that the old woman is at the peak of ki and blood now, but you don't know the price she has to pay. At this time, Qianian Sha said, this is originally the old woman's taboo method. It forcibly increases ki and blood, but it is only a flash in the pan and can only last for 2 minutes at most. After 2 minutes, the old woman's ki and blood will dry up, she will fall into coma, completely lose her combat state, and may even die. Qianian Sha worriedly predicted the worst-case scenario. If something happens to the old woman, who can stop the outsider masters? Hearing this, the 8 surrounding peak masters fell silent, and the atmosphere was gloomy. Don't worry. Just then, Su Yang and Guo Yi appeared. Su Yang smiled and said, I have a way to help Senior Wu recover his vitality. Suddenly, everyone's eyes were fixed on Su Yang. And no one paid any attention to Guo Yi. Because Guo Yi was holding a King Fang fan, concealing his aura, no one could detect it unless they were at the divine transformation realm. Therefore, he appeared to everyone as just an ordinary person. Su Yang, are you serious? Qianian Sha asked in surprise. Yes, Su Yang nodded, then said, Grandpa Jin, fellow peak masters, with me here today, 9 Peaks Mountain will be safe, and the outsider masters will not be able to overrun the ancient martial arts world. Rest assured. Boom. As he spoke, a loud noise echoed from high above. Wu Kengying, at the peak of her ki and blood power, exchanged a move with young Master Fengxi. The collision of spiritual energy and true ki was so massive that even the clouds were shattered. Immediately afterwards, everyone's attention was drawn to the scene. Su Yang also looked up, wondering what the outcome would be. Chapter 707 Purple Gold Hammer. The sky was once thick with layers of white clouds, making it invisible to the naked eye. But now, the thick white clouds, split in two by the aftermath of the battle between Wu Kengying and young Master Fengxi, revealed a clear, blue sky. Wu Kengying and young Master Fengxi stood facing each other, approximately 7 or 8 meters apart. From afar, they appeared to stand atop a single white cloud, seemingly riding on it, like immortals, exuding a remarkable aura. However, this was merely a visual effect. The ability to soar through the air and soar through the clouds could only be achieved at the spirit transformation realm. While the ancient martial arts system required a true martial god realm, the ancient martial arts system previously had a land-based martial god. When Su Yang initiated the ancient martial arts reform, he adopted Jin Shangsu's suggestion and named the realm above the martial saint the true martial god. This martial god realm was comparable to the spirit transformation realm, found above the nascent soul stage in the cultivation system. Clearly, neither Wu Kengying nor young Master Fengxi had yet reached their respective realms capable of soaring through the air. Now, they can only fight at high altitude for a period of time by mobilizing their own strength. To fly freely on a dragon for a long time, they need to take a further step. At this time, Wu Kengying and Master Fengxi have fought for hundreds of rounds, and it was originally a draw. However, in the last round, Wu Kengying used a forbidden method, and his blood and energy returned to the peak, launching a super powerful attack, which naturally suppressed Master Fengxi. At this moment, Wu Kengying was leaning on a crutch, and the bottom of the crutch seemed to be standing above the white clouds. The blood and energy in his body surged, exuding a powerful aura. As for Master Fengxi, he was a little embarrassed, with a trace of blood at the corner of his mouth, but the problem was not serious. It was just a minor injury, not a serious injury, and it did not affect his strength at all. This is the strength of the foremost ancient martial artist. It's truly formidable, far more powerful than anyone I've ever encountered. Master Fengxi wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, a playful smile playing on his face. He sneered, however, Wu Kengying, you won't be able to maintain this state for long. In other words, you won't be able to unleash that power too many times. Yes, Wu Kengying nodded, not hiding anything. Because, even if she denied it, it would be useless. Master Fengxi could see her state. Wu Kengying wasn't in a hurry, she could maintain this state for 10 minutes. The 2 minutes Qianian Shat had mentioned were before she ascended to the martial saint stage. Back then, Wu Kengying's ki and blood had been depleted. She'd once discussed this with Qianian Shat, saying she could restore her ki and blood to peak strength in a short period of time, perhaps lasting 2 minutes. However, after reaching the martial saint stage, this time naturally lengthened to a full 10 minutes. Of course, there's a limit to how many times you can use your full strength. If you pump out your ki too quickly and frequently, you won't be able to sustain it for more than 10 minutes. Therefore, Wu Kengying wasn't in a rush to fight Master Fengxi. She wanted to trick him, force him to reveal his hidden abilities, and avoid a last-minute counterattack. Wu Kengying hadn't originally intended to use forbidden tactics, but Master Fengxi was quite powerful, and she couldn't force him out. She had no choice but to give it a go. Haha, I guessed right, young Master Fengxi chuckled softly. Wu Kengying, I admit that in your current state, you can suppress me, but you can't crush me. As long as I can drag it out for this period, you will undoubtedly lose. Also, Wu Kengying, you've paid too much to deal with me, young Master Fengxi chuckled coldly. I can see that you've forced yourself to reach the ultimate sublime, squeezing out all your ki and blood. Once this state disappears, your ki and blood will reach its lowest point. At best, you'll be seriously injured and comatose. At worst, you might even die. In either case, you must die. Yes, you're right, Wu Kengying nodded again. If that's the case, why did you take such a huge risk, choosing to sacrifice your own life in a desperate fight with me? Young Master Fengxi asked curiously. I can't do it without ultimate sublimation, Wu Kengying said with a wry smile. You have vigorous vitality and are in the prime of your life. Our strength is about the same. If I keep wasting my energy, how can I possibly win? Sooner or later, I'll be worn out by you. Rather than that, I'd rather achieve ultimate sublimation and fight you, Wu Kengying said with a determined look. Why bother? Young Master Fengxi chuckled softly. Wu Kengying, I see you're quite capable. If you're willing to surrender to me, sign a contract with me, and become my subordinate, perhaps I'll consider sparing you. I'll even give you Jilfang Mountain and never invade it in the slightest. How is that? Beneath Jilfang Mountain, after the white clouds parted, everyone could see Wu Kengying and young Master Fengxi. Furthermore, they were all ancient martial artists with hearing far superior to ordinary people, so they could naturally hear their conversation. When they heard young Master Fengxi extend the olive branch to Wu Kengying, everyone looked over, holding their breath, eager to hear Wu Kengying's answer. Haha, dream on, Jilfang Mountain originally belonged to us. How can you be so arrogant as to give it to me? Who gave you the right? Wu Kengying met Master Fengxi's gaze and sneered, but you, Master Fengxi, Didn't you come here to kill me? Why are you suddenly trying to persuade me to surrender? Are you scared? Scared? Haha. Master Fengxi laughed heartily, then turned gloomily and said, Wu Kengying, I'm only offering you a chance to live. How could I be afraid of you? I don't need it. Go ahead, Wu Kengying said coldly. HMPH, Master Fengxi's face darkened. Since you don't appreciate my kindness, don't blame me for being merciless. Don't think you can defeat me just because you've recovered your peak vitality. I'll show you the true extent of the gap between you and me. Purple gold hammer, come, buzz. The next moment, a massive hammer suddenly appeared in Master Fengxi's hand. The hammer was clad entirely in purple gold, covered in mysterious runes, and emanated a faint, earth-shattering power. The purple gold hammer is my life-saving treasure. It was originally made of the top-grade material, purple cloudstone. It is purple all over and is called the Purple Cloud Hammer. Young Master Fengxi smiled proudly. However, when I came to Earth this time, my master, the Immortal Emperor Yanlong, gave me a piece of golden dragon scale to integrate into it. Then this thing began to emit purple gold light and was renamed the Purple Gold Hammer. After the Purple Gold Hammer was formed, my master injected 1/10 of the power of his own imperial weapon into it. Young Master Fengxi smiled coldly. Now, my Purple Gold Hammer has a power that is no weaker than that of a quasi-emperor imperial weapon. With my current strength, if I forcibly activate the Purple Gold Hammer, I will suffer backlash, but I am much better than you. The backlash is not strong, so I just need to nurture it. Young Master Fengxi sneered. I didn't want to use the Purple Gold Hammer, Wu Kengying, you forced me to. Once the Purple Gold Hammer is out, even if you regret it and want to surrender to me, you will have no chance. Prepare to die. As he said that, young Master Fengxi picked up the Purple Gold Hammer and suddenly rushed towards Wu Kengying. As the Purple Gold Hammer moved, the air hummed and the heaven and earth trembled. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 708 The sky collapses and the earth collapses. Facing the powerful attack from young Master Fengxi, Wu Kengying's face was as gloomy as water, her expression utterly solemn. But she didn't retreat. Instead, she unleashed her strongest weapon, proactively confronting young Master Fengxi. Bang! The next moment, the two collided, and a resounding explosion echoed through the heavens and earth. Then, a terrifying aftermath of the battle rippled outward, and the clouds surrounding the two instantly dissipated. Simultaneously, the ground shook, and hundreds of ancient warriors and weaker cultivators below were toppled to the ground. Most of them collapsed from the shock, vomiting blood. Young Master Fengxi's weapon is terrifying. The Purple Gold Hammer, the moment it appeared, already choked me. Is this an imperial weapon? You didn't hear clearly. That's 1/10 the power of an imperial weapon. How much more powerful must a true imperial weapon be? Senior Wu Kengying is truly formidable. She actually managed to catch young Master Fengxi's Purple Gold Hammer. I wonder what her chances of success were. What would we do if she lost? Senior Wu Kengying could have saved herself and Jinfang Mountain if she had surrendered to the outside world. But she didn't. With such integrity, how can we only think of ourselves? That's right. We swear to live and die with Senior Wu Kengying. We swear to live and die with Senior Wu Kengying. We swear to live and die with Senior Wu Kengying. The numerous ancient warriors below were filled with passion. None of them flinched, their gazes filled with determination. Not far away, Su Yang gazed at the Purple Gold Hammer in young Master Fengxi's hand, a flicker of fear in his eyes. Each of these 10 powerful outsiders has a treasure that can resist ominous signs. Young Master Fengxi is naturally no exception. He also possesses a golden scale. This scale belongs to the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's body and is equivalent to his imperial weapon. Su Yang murmured to himself, I just didn't expect that while everyone else carried it with them. The Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor actually spent so much energy to send the golden scale to young Master Fengxi's life-saving weapon. What's even more surprising is that the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor actually injected 1/10 of his own power into the Purple Gold Hammer, forging it into a quasi-emperor level treasure. What exactly is the relationship between this young Master Fengxi and the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor? The Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor actually values him so much that he created such a treasure for him. Su Yang's expression was solemn, and at the same time he secretly rejoiced. Fortunately, Senior Wu Qingying tested the waters, otherwise I really couldn't kill him and would be forced to flee by him, but, Su Yang's tone suddenly changed, a sneer flashing in his eyes, but now it's different. Young Master Fengxi has already activated the purple gold hammer. He's forcing it, and after just a few swings he'll run out of spiritual energy and become weakened, then, I'll make another move and wipe him out easily. This quasi-emperor treasure, the purple gold hammer, will naturally belong to me. Su Yang smiled lightly, looking at the purple gold hammer with a fiery gaze, and then thought to himself, given Senior Wu's current condition, she should be able to deal with young Master Fengxi for a while. With me watching here, Senior Wu will be fine. When she can't hold on anymore, I'll rescue her and refine some elixirs to replenish her ki and blood afterwards. It won't be long before she's back to normal, and maybe even make further progress, Su Yang said regretfully. It's a pity that my Void Tower is now considered a quasi-emperor level imperial weapon, but the weapon spirit is lost. No one else can use it except me, not even with my permission. Otherwise, Senior Wu, armed with the Void Tower and possessing a weapon no less powerful than young Master Fengxi's, would have made the fight much easier, but it's no big deal. I'll handle it. Senior Wu's life is definitely safe, Su Yang thought to himself. He didn't act immediately because he was observing young Master Fengxi's trump card. Now that it had been revealed, the purple gold hammer, Su Yang couldn't yet make a move. 3 powerful auras, no less powerful than young Master Fengxi's, were lurking in the shadows, threatening him. Su Yang could only sense their presence but couldn't pinpoint their exact location. Therefore, he could only wait, waiting for them to reveal themselves, lest they suddenly emerge and suffer a blow. Meanwhile, high in the sky, Wu Qingying took the purple gold hammer's blow with her bare hands, retreating over 10 meters, a bloody scar on her palm. Meanwhile, young Master Fengxi, though uninjured, had noticeably weakened his spiritual energy, the inevitable consequence of forcing the purple gold hammer. Wu Qingying, very good, you actually caught it. But, I'm not sure about the next blow, young Master Fengxi sneered, then summoned his strength and said in a deep voice, this blow is called heaven collapse and earth sinking. With that, young Master Fengxi raised his purple gold hammer high and suddenly rushed towards Wu Qingying. A mere trifle, Wu Qingying stood still, similarly mobilizing all her strength. Her crutch had broken, so she resisted with her bare hands. Bang! With a resounding thud, Wu Qingying's body was crushed downward by the purple gold hammer. Young Master Fengxi, holding the purple gold hammer, also descended. The two of them clashed from the sky, plunging to the ground, until Wu Qingying's body sank half a meter into the ground before coming to a stop. Then, Wu Qingying exerted a sudden force, deflecting young Master Fengxi and the purple gold hammer away, himself soaring into the sky. Haha, this next blow is called earth-shattering change, young Master Fengxi sneered and also soared into the sky, gathering immense power in his purple gold hammer. Boom! The next moment, the sky and the earth changed color, thunder roared, and dark clouds gathered. Unwilling to be outdone, Wu Qingying mobilized a vast amount of true energy and withstood Master Fengxi's thunderbolt. Although she managed to withstand it, she herself was seriously injured. After all, it was a quasi-emperor level treasure. Without a weapon, she was naturally no match for Master Fengxi. Senior Wu Qingying, I'll lend you the King Fang fan. At this moment, Guo Yi, who had been silent until then, suddenly spoke up and tossed his feather fan towards Wu Qingying. This fan, this power, it actually possesses the aura of a quasi-emperor. Master Fengxi sensed the power of the King Fang fan and hurriedly shouted, Chiffon, if we don't act now, when will we? Stop this feather fan. Master Fengxi dared not delay, fearing that Wu Qingying would possess the King Fang fan and pose a threat to him. He hurriedly shouted into the air behind him. Whoosh! Immediately, a young man in a black robe appeared out of thin air, stepped on the void, and flew towards the King Fang fan, intending to snatch it away. HMPH, I've been waiting for you. I threw out the King Fang fan just to lure you out, Guo Yi sneered, and with a thought, the King Fang fan automatically flew back into his hand. Then, holding the King Fang fan, Guo Yi stood in midair, exuding a powerful aura. He secretly sent a message to Su Yang, Master, I will deal with this man. There are 2 others in the dark. Please pay close attention. They will definitely not be able to hold back. From now on, it's up to you to deal with this situation. I can only hold him back for a quarter of an hour. Chapter 709 Imperial Conferment. Guo Yi, having already reached the nascent soul stage,
naturally saw that Wu Qingying hadn't gained the upper hands in the previous clash, and was even at a disadvantage. However, this wasn't enough to prompt him to strike first. Guo Yi had thrown out the King Fang Fan to draw out a hidden outsider expert because he vaguely suspected someone was plotting to cooperate with young Master Fengxi to kill Wu Qingying. Of course, Guo Yi's ability to guess this wasn't because he was stronger than Su Yang, it was simply due to his greater foresight. If he were young Master Fengxi's accomplice, hiding in the shadows, he would surely seize this opportunity to deliver a fatal blow to Wu Qingying. Guo Yi had used the King Fang Fan as bait to draw the opponent out, just in case. If he remained hidden, he could lend the King Fang Fan to Wu Qingying. Given Wu Qingying's strength, with a King Fang Fan, while she wouldn't easily defeat young Master Fengxi, she wouldn't be at a disadvantage. Now, if one of the three hiding in the shadows emerged, it wouldn't be a big deal. With a King Fang Fan in hand, Guo Yi could still contend with him, as it possessed 1/10 the power of a quasi-emperor's treasure. Well, good. Thank you for your hard work, Su Yang nodded and warned through voice transmission, be careful. Just deal with him. I'll be keeping an eye on the other two, as well as Senior Wu Qingying's situation. I'll intervene immediately if anything develops. I'm concealing my strength. No one on the scene can see my true realm, so I'm sure I can achieve a surprise victory, Su Yang warned again. If you feel you're no match for him, retreat immediately. Don't take any risks. Yes, Guo Yi complied respectfully, then, holding the King Fang Fan, he stood steadily in midair, his gaze fixed on the black-robed youth in the distance. Earth native, have you reached the nascent soul stage? At this moment, the black-robed chieftain also looked at Guo Yi, his eyes filled with surprise. That's right, Guo Yi snapped open the King Fang Fan with one hand, put one hand behind his back, held the King Fang Fan with the other hand, fanned it gently, and said in a flat tone, outsider, your opponent is me, the earth is under ominous suppression, how can you? Qi Feng stared at the King Fang Fan in Guo Yi's hand, and suddenly realized, I understand, as long as you have an emperor-level artifact, you can ignore the ominousness. You can advance to the nascent soul stage because of this King Fang Fan, right? Guo Yi always maintained a leisurely posture and said lightly, exactly, huh? Judging from your realm, you haven't even reached the peak of the nascent soul stage, so you must not be my opponent, Qi Feng said contemptuously. Even if I forcibly activate the King Fang Fan, I am confident that I can wipe you out in 500 rounds, Earth native. Now you obediently hand over the King Fang Fan, and be my dog from now on. Follow me, and I can spare your life. Qi Feng sneered, I hope you can make the right choice, and don't be like that Wu Qingying. It will be too late to regret it then. As one of the 10 powerful individuals who had arrived on Earth, Chiffin was naturally no pushover. His thinking mirrored that of young Master Fengxi. Beyond the realm, they were bound to obey the orders of the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor, heeding his every word and daring to do the slightest thing. Any inadvertence would result in their demise. But upon arriving on Earth, having briefly escaped the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's control, they naturally harbored skepticism. Even the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor was eyeing Earth, so it must be something special. Chiffin, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's attendant, remained almost inseparable from him. He had heard the Emperor mention that over 5,000 years ago, powerful individuals surpassed the Immortal Emperor realm on Earth, and not just one. The vast universe boasts countless star regions, yet none of them has ever surpassed the Immortal Emperor. This led to saying that the cultivation system ends at the Immortal Emperor realm, with no one able to advance further. However, the Immortal Emperor realm does not guarantee immortality, only by reaching that legendary realm can one achieve eternal life. Thus, countless powerful cultivators throughout the vast universe painstakingly searched and researched for the elusive realm of Immortal Emperor, but to no avail. However, due to an unexpected discovery, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor discovered a mysterious power on Earth, deducing that immortals above the level of Immortal Emperor had been born there. But for unknown reasons, these immortals mysteriously vanished. Thus, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor began secretly exploring Earth, but due to Earth's protective formations, his true form could not descend upon it in its full glory. Over 2,000 years ago, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor, possessing the space-time gate, entered Earth, but found many forbidden areas beyond his reach. With no other options, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor could only observe Earth in secret, slowly exploring this mysterious star region. At that time, Earth seemed to be fractured, devoid of true emperor-level beings, and the strongest were merely quasi-emperors. With the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's means and the space-time gate, he could easily handle a quasi-emperor-level opponent. Of course, this was without the quasi-emperor's combined strength. If dozens of Earth quasi-emperors attacked simultaneously, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor would be unable to easily counterattack and would have had to temporarily retreat. Fortunately, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor possessed a portal of time and space, allowing him to instantly appear anywhere on Earth. He exploited this ability to surprise and defeat Earth's quasi-emperors one by one, enabling him to control Earth for centuries. At that time, Earth's quasi-emperors were scattered across the land, cultivating in seclusion and not gathering together. They had no idea of the arrival of masters from beyond the realm, and thus suffered a crushing defeat. The Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's goal was to study Earth and its cultivators, so he didn't kill the Earth quasi-emperors but instead teleported them beyond the realm. Beyond the realm, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor was a true emperor, possessing supreme divine power, and could naturally crush the Earth quasi-emperors. Even dozens of Earth quasi-emperors combined would be no match for the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor. Therefore, once beyond the realm, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor showed no fear of the Earth quasi-emperors. Yubayu and Tuoba Bodhisattva learned of the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's rampage on Earth. These two immortal emperors also intended to enter Earth, but unfortunately, Earth's cultivators had already reacted. Someone organized Earth's powerful cultivators to commit their physical bodies to the protective formation, strengthening it and strengthening the formation. This prevented the White Jade Immortal Emperor and the Tuoba Immortal Emperor from entering Earth. Of course, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor could have left Earth, but he didn't. Instead, he hid on Earth, observing from the shadows and searching for treasures. However, all this was interrupted by an Earth cultivator named Blood Demon. While in the outer realm, Blood Demon had achieved the quasi-emperor realm, and with his secret blood explosion technique, he actually shook the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor. Although the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor killed him, he himself was seriously injured, his combat effectiveness greatly reduced to a mere fraction of his original strength. Chapter 710 Guoyi's Plan. Furthermore, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor knew that Earth still held several quasi-emperor level masters. When uninjured, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor was fearless, confident he could withstand even a combined force of quasi-emperors. But gravely wounded, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor was no match for them, and knowing he couldn't stand up to them, he left Earth. He knew that leaving Earth would make returning to Earth a daunting task. But there was no other way. The Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor was already seriously injured, and remaining on Earth was too dangerous. Qi Feng vividly remembered the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's profound regret after returning to the outer realm. He said he had nearly completed research on several forbidden areas, and given another 100 years, he could enter. Most importantly, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor said those areas must contain powerful treasures, perhaps even clues to achieving immortality. Qi Feng remembered this vividly. Now that he had arrived on Earth, and the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor couldn't enter, wasn't this a golden opportunity? Qi Feng had long planned to slowly develop and grow on Earth. He would return to the divine transformation stage, embark on the journey of transcending tribulations, ascend to Quasi-Emperor, and finally ascend to Immortal Emperor. He even considered exploring those forbidden lands, perhaps even becoming an immortal. Then, upon returning to the outer realm, what would the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor even be? Having decided to establish himself on Earth for the long term, Qi Feng was determined to establish his own power, and naturally, he wouldn't miss out on Guo Yi, a nascent soul expert. After all, on Earth today, due to the depletion of spiritual energy and the ominous suppression, nascent soul experts were already considered the pinnacle of power. Besides him, Earth also had other outer realm experts. If Qi Feng could win over Guo Yi, who possessed the power of the purifying wind, his status would naturally rise. "You won't kill me." Guo Yi seemed moved when he heard this, and a hint of joy appeared in his eyes, but then he said cautiously, "Just now, you called me an Earth native and were full of contempt for me. How do I know if you were lying to me? What if you go back on your word after taking the Kingfin fan?" Haha. Qi Feng saw Guo Yi's expression and listened to Guo Yi's words, and was immediately delighted. He promised, "Don't worry, I can swear that if I go back on my word, I will be struck by lightning. A cultivator's oath must not be violated, otherwise there will be inner demons. You should understand this." Qi Feng smiled. "Now,
You can choose to believe me, right? Well, Guo Yi was even more tempted, but looked at the Kingfin fan in his hand, and said reluctantly, I was originally a casual cultivator, without any sect or school. It was all thanks to this Kingfin fan that I achieved what I have today. I can't bear to use it as a token of my loyalty. I can understand. Qi Feng smiled lightly and said, however, I am just borrowing it. After you sign a soul contract with me, I will return it to you soon. I can see that you have the Kingfang fan and your strength is not weak. Even if I want to defeat you, I need to pay some price. Qi Feng continued, if you follow me, I will naturally not treat you unfairly. Only when you are stronger can you be more useful to me. This. Guo Yu almost agreed, but he was a little hesitant, his eyes full of greed. If I follow you, what benefits can you give me? Can you help me advance to the God transformation realm? Haha, of course you can, Qi Feng promised. You are my first subordinate after arriving on Earth. You will definitely become my right-hand man. How could I treat you unfairly? We have established a sect on Earth and enjoy countless resources. What is a mere God transformation? It's just the beginning, okay? After a fierce ideological struggle, Guo Yi finally nodded and said through gritted teeth, I am willing to follow you, master. As soon as he finished speaking, Guo Yi landed on the ground, holding the Kingfang fan in both hands and kneeling on one knee. His eyes were filled with respect, clearly intending to give the Kingfang fan to Chifin. Ha ha ha, not bad, not bad. A man of insight is a hero. From now on, you are my subordinate. Chifin also landed, slowly walked over to Guo Yi, and chuckled softly. What's your name? Your subordinate Guo Yi. Guo Yi replied respectfully. Guo Yi, yes, I'll make a note of it. Chifin nodded gently, then formed a seal with his hands, and quickly condensed a soul contract. He held it in front of Guo Yi and said, sign the soul contract. With that, Chifin reached for the Kingfang fan, completely unprepared for Guo Yi. Because, in his opinion, Guo Yi had already surrendered to him, and the soul contract was ready. Facing his subordinate, who was about to sign a soul contract, Chifin naturally lost his guard and happily took the Kingfang fan. Yes, master, I will sign the contract immediately, Guo Yi responded respectfully, not daring to raise his head in front of Chifin, appearing reverent. Little did he know, a sneer flickered across his lips, his eyes piercing with a fierce intensity. Just as Chifin's palm was about to make contact with a Kingfang fan, it suddenly erupted with a terrifying force, striking Chifin in the process. Instantly, Chifin was wounded by the Kingfang fan and sent flying, his arm bleeding profusely. Simultaneously, Guo Yi leaped forward, Kingfang fan in hand, pursuing Chifin with a massive blast of air, aiming for Chifin's throat. Chifin screamed in agony, retreating to avoid the Kingfang fan's blast. But his speed was no match for the blast, so he was forced to block it with his uninjured arm. A loud bang followed, and Chifin was flung back again, stopping several dozen meters before stopping. Wow! This scene caused an uproar in the whole audience. Everyone was surprised and some even laughed out loud. Ha ha ha! This Guo Yi, pretending to surrender to the enemy, turned around and got a big B pocket. Well done, Guo Yi. Who is this person? He actually stepped into the nascent soul realm. I've never heard of him before. Hearing them talk, the feather fan in Guo Yi's hand is a treasure that contains the power of a quasi-emperor weapon. It seems that the earth is not as simple as it seems. Haha, that's great, we are not completely powerless. Finally, someone can replace Senior Wu Kengying. Don't be happy too soon. Among the 10 masters from outside the domain, 2 have appeared now, and 8 have not come out yet. I don't know if there are any masters of the same level on our side. Guo Yi, at this moment, Qianian Shan and the other 8 peak masters were all stunned. Qianian Sha said in surprise. I didn't expect that this ordinary young man was actually in the nascent soul realm. I thought he was just an ordinary person before. It turns out that you can't judge a person by his appearance. A person in the nascent soul realm, with a feather fan as a treasure, can compete with masters from outside the domain at the peak of the nascent soul realm. Pan Zhoushan, who was standing next to him, was extremely shocked. He turned to look at Su Yang and was even more shocked. Such a person calls Master Su Master. And, Nanguang Yu, the head of the Nanguang family, also calls Master Su Master. Master Su, what realm is he in? Chapter 711, Exhaustion of Qi and Blood. Upon hearing this, several of the surrounding peak masters, including Qianian Shan, couldn't help but glance at Su Yang.
their eyes filled with curiosity. Su Yang, you seem very confident. Tell me honestly, what realm have you reached now? Qianian Sha couldn't help but ask. Grandpa Jin, just watch the battle. You'll find out in a moment, he smiled, but didn't answer Qianian Sha's question. Instead, he looked at Guo Yi and Qi Feng, simultaneously expanding his spiritual sense and vigilantly observing his surroundings. At this moment, damn it, Qi Feng, after stabilizing himself, cried out in fury, Earth natives, you dare to trick me, so what? Guo Yi, clutching a feather fan, looked ethereal and otherworldly. He chuckled softly, now that I've crippled one of your arms, I feel even more confident facing you. Ah, Qi Feng stared at Guo Yi, his eyes filled with murderous intent. He gritted his teeth and said, you bastard, I'm going to kill you and tear you into pieces to appease my hatred. First, take your soul contract. Guo Yi deliberately provoked Qi Feng. Qi, recalling his previous actions, felt like a fool. A rage welled up in his chest, and he raised his hand to shatter the soul contract. Die, without hesitation, Qi charged at Guo Yi, his intent surging with murderous intent. Guo Yi, intent on his actions, activated the King Fang fan, soaring into the air. From above, he suddenly unleashed a terrifying blast of air. Qi, in turn, formed a protective barrier and soared into the sky. Though struggling, he withstood the King Fang fan's attack and closed in on Guo Yi. He had already seen that Guo Yi's King Fang fan was his greatest strength, and the King Fang fan's greatest weapon was likely its ability to generate such blasts. That was why Qi had bravely charged forward, seeking close combat. But Guo Yi refused to allow him this opportunity. With a flash of his body, he distanced himself from Qi again, then swung the King Fang fan. This time, Qi dodged and pursued Guo Yi. Thus, the two engaged in a mid-air chase. Each time Guo Yi fanned the King Fang, he would quickly shift positions and fan again. Qi Feng pursued him, unable to reach Guo Yi. A seesaw battle ensued, and a decisive outcome was inevitable. Elsewhere, the battle between Wu Qingying and young Master Fengxi continued unabated. Wielding the purple gold hammer, young Master Fengxi constantly pressed Wu Qingying, forcing her back. However, Wu Qingying's vigorous energy and blood flow kept her in a passive position, but she wasn't in a position to be defeated. However, over 4 minutes had already passed, and soon Wu Qingying's current would end. By then, she would be defeated, perhaps even in mortal danger. Meanwhile, young Master Fengxi, despite suffering backlash from his forced use of the purple gold hammer, remained under control, his complexion pale only slightly, as his spiritual energy had been greatly depleted. However, as long as he could suppress Wu Qingying and defeat her, he could take a few elixirs and recuperate for a few days to regain his peak form. Wu Qingying, I see you're at the end of your rope. Perhaps you can't maintain your peak ki and blood. At this moment, Master Fengxi sneered, now, you can die, I defeated you with my strongest weapon, and you're so proud of yourself. Master Fengxi sneered repeatedly, then raised his purple gold hammer and slowly uttered 2 words, thunder. As the words fell, the purple gold hammer came crashing down. Rumble. At the same time, thunder and lightning rolled through the dark clouds, rumbling with overwhelming force. The next moment, lightning from the 9 heavens, attached to the purple gold hammer, struck Wu Qingying to death. This hammer, unleashed by lightning, possesses a power nearly comparable to the thunder tribulation faced by a nascent soul cultivator breaking through to the crossing tribulation realm. I can only use it once. Wu Qingying, you will die under the thunder? Master Fengxi no longer hesitated. His own situation was not optimistic, so he decided to kill with a single blow. Seeing this, Wu Qingying remained calm. She stood in place, waving her arms and gathering her strength. Senior Wu, I'm Su Yang. This move is very powerful, but if I summon the Void Tower, I should be able to take it at the cost of getting injured. Su Yang sensed the power of the thunder, so he secretly transmitted a voice, do you need me to take action? No, Wu Qingying refused, my old bones are already exhausted. I can withstand a full strength blow, but I'm afraid I won't have the strength to fight after that, but it doesn't matter, because I can't maintain this state anymore, so let me play my last role. After this collision, I will most likely fall unconscious and fall down. Don't worry about me, don't save me, I'm already useless, Wu Qingying reminded, there are 2 more people in the dark. Their strength is slightly weaker than young Master Fengxi, but the 2 of them together are not to be underestimated. You just keep an eye on them.
We still have a chance of winning by surprise. There's no need to take the risk of taking the thunder from me. If you are exposed, your chances of winning in a head-on confrontation will be much smaller. Wu Qingying obviously also noticed the person hiding in the dark. Okay, Su Yang nodded, earnestly transmitting his message. I will definitely not let you down. Yes, Wu Qingying nodded gently, then reached a peak of spiritual power, using the last of her strength to condense a protective shield to protect herself. Boom. Then, thunder roared. A purple gold hammer, weighing 1,000 pounds and carrying thunder, came crashing down, attempting to shatter Wu Qingying's defenses. Unfortunately, Wu Qingying was, after all, a peak martial saint, the foremost in the ancient martial arts world. His strength was immense, and he took it head-on. After about 10 seconds, the purple gold hammer returned in vain. The dark clouds above dissipated, and the lightning vanished with them. Young Master Fengxi, exhausted from his excessive spiritual energy, could no longer maintain his position aloft, and slowly fell to the ground. Puff, he actually took it. Young Master Fengxi spat out a mouthful of blood, but he still had enough strength to hold on to the purple gold hammer. A flicker of surprise crossed his face, but he sneered, haha, even if you took it, so what? You're already exhausted and doomed. With that, he looked up at Wu Qingying, high in the sky. The crowd at the scene acted similarly. Hundreds of eyes, perhaps even thousands, simultaneously focused on Wu Qingying, their breath held in concentration. Silence reigned. Wu Qingying didn't spit out blood, but she looked older. Her face was covered in wrinkles, her lips dry, and her body swayed weakly. Though she struggled to steady herself, she ultimately collapsed, losing consciousness as she plummeted from the height. At that moment, the hearts of all the ancient martial artists sank. Was this the end of Wu Qingying, the foremost figure in the ancient martial arts world? Haha, old thing, you are about to die, so let me see you off for the last time. Seeing this, Master Fengxi took advantage of the fact that Wu Qingying had not yet landed on the ground, and flew into the air with a purple gold hammer in his hand, intending to kill him in one fell swoop. Chapter 712 Killin, Red Moon. Fengxi, leave this person to me. I'm very interested in her Zhenki. At that moment, a red figure darted out from the darkness and suddenly floated towards Wu Qingying. This woman was dressed in a long red dress, her lips a fiery crimson, her fingers slender and black-nailed. Her features were exquisite, yet revealing a touch of allure, a sinister smile playing on her lips. Qi Hongyu, one of the 10 powerful outsiders who had visited Earth, practiced a unique technique that allowed her to absorb the spiritual energy of others and harness it for her own benefit, enhancing her strength. Qi Hongyu's talents weren't particularly impressive, but her relationship with the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor was extraordinary. The Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor doted on her, pampering her in every way. Some speculated that Qi Hongyu was one of his women, frequently enjoying free access to his palace. It was thanks to the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's care that Qi Hongyu achieved her current strength. She was the youngest of the 10 outsiders, appearing to be in her 20s or 30s, consistent with her actual age. At such a young age, having reached the stage of divine transformation, Qi Hongyu was a top-tier powerhouse in the outer realm. Qi Hongyu's behavior was incredibly arrogant, and her domineering behavior in the outer realm incurred the wrath of both heaven and man. Once, she argued with the concubine of a quasi-emperor and killed her. Enraged, the quasi-emperor united several peak quasi-emperors, even expending a shocking elixir to summon a true immortal emperor. Together, they pressured the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor to punish Qi Hongyu. They believed Qi Hongyu was merely a plaything of the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor, and he would surely not turn against him over a mere plaything. However, they were wrong, utterly wrong. The Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor acted without hesitation, annihilating those who had been killed, leaving no one alive. This demonstrates the importance Qi Hongyu held in the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's heart. The Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor had been reluctant to include Qi Hongyu in this visit to Earth. After all, Earth was complex and fraught with danger. These 10 individuals were the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's discarded pawns, used to force out Earth's quasi-emperor. But Qi Hongyu insisted, and the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor had no choice but to agree. Moreover, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor had a backup plan. He would soon return to Earth in peak condition, naturally able to protect Qi Hongyu. In short, Qi Hongyu held the highest position among the 10, without a trace of warning. Alright, I'll give it to you. Upon seeing Qi Hongyu's appearance,
Master Fengxi weighed the pros and cons before ultimately withdrawing. Given his current situation, it was inconvenient for him to enter into an argument with Qi Hongyu. Furthermore, Wu Qingying was already doomed, and Master Fengxi had no cultivation techniques for absorbing energy from others. Wu Qingying meant nothing to him. Instead, he might as well oblige Qi Hongyu and earn a favor. Qi Hongyu, excuse me, but I want this Wu Qingying too. But just then, another figure flew out from the shadows, heading straight for Qi Hongyu. This figure was tall and burly, like a small mountain, striding through the air with a terrifying aura. His name was Qilin, a member of the same clan as the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor. His original form was a dragon, and his horizontal form was a mountain range. After transforming into human form, he focused on physical cultivation, making his body indestructible and immune to all attacks. Although suppressed by his arrival at the Earth realm, his combat prowess was no less than that of young Master Fengxi. However, this was assuming young Master Fengxi did not possess the purple gold hammer. If young Master Fengxi wielded the purple gold hammer, Qilin would be no match. The purple gold hammer, imbued with the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's dragon scales and 1/10 the power of an imperial weapon, could easily pierce Qilin's defenses. Qilin had long known that young Master Fengxi's purple cloud hammer had been modified by the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor. He also understood that this was precisely how the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor used it to keep him in check. Otherwise, he would be the strongest of the 10, unstoppable. Now that young Master Fengxi possessed the purple gold hammer, he could suppress Qilin and prevent him from harboring rebellious thoughts. Young Master Fengxi himself, however, could not use the purple gold hammer repeatedly and dared not act rashly, lest his spiritual energy run dry and he be left without a fight. Thus, the three men hiding in the shadows emerged: Qifan, Qi Hongyu, and Qilin. Including young Master Fengxi, there were 4 in total. 4 peak nascent soul cultivators were enough to wipe out everyone in Jilfang Mountain. Seeing this, the ancient martial artists present expressed unease and worry. 2 masters from outside the realm were already formidable enough, and now 2 more had appeared. The ancient martial arts world was in imminent danger. Down below, Qianyansha ignored all else. Seeing his wife fall unconscious from the high school, severely injured, he leaped into the air and caught Wu Qingying. Qi Hongyu and Qilin naturally noticed, but neither of them intervened. At this moment, Qi Hongyu and Qilin faced each other, each emanating a chilling aura. "Qilin, what do you mean?" Qi Hongyu said coldly. "This old fellow is useful to me, but she's useless to you. Why are you trying to steal her from me?" Qilin chuckled softly. "It's nothing. I just don't want to see you get stronger. True ki and spiritual ki, while different, are both energy. This old fellow has reached the peak of the martial saint realm and can even fight Fengxi, wielding the purple gold hammer. His true ki is naturally immense. Converted to that, it's probably no less than that of an early-stage spirit transformation cultivator. Since you arrived on Earth, you've already absorbed the spiritual energy of several cultivators at the Falstan realm. If you absorb her energy, you'll likely be able to return to the spirit transformation realm, right?" Qilin continued. "If you reach the spirit transformation realm, will there still be a place for us on Earth? So, I can't let you have your way. It's fine for us all to be at the peak of the nascent soul realm. Why take such a big step and upset our balance?" Qilin chuckled. "So what if you are right, Qilin? Don't forget my relationship with the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor." Qi Hongyu, pretending to be powerful, threatened in a cold voice, "If you disrespect me again, be careful that I will complain to the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor and let him wipe you out." "Haha, don't scare me with him." Qilin smiled playfully. "Outside the domain, I was naturally afraid of him. He could decide my life or death with just one thought, but this is the Earth, a place that the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor cannot reach. At such a long distance, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor cannot restrain me. I treat him as the master, and he is the master. I treat him as heir, and he can't do anything to me." Qilin looked at Qi Hongyu with a greedy look in his eyes. He licked his lips with his tongue and sneered. "Qi Hongyu, your looks are rare in the world. Although you used to be the plaything of the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor, I don't care. Why don't you and I become a Taoist couple, be my woman, and let me also taste what it feels like to be a woman that the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor has played with." Qilin smiled playfully. Chapter 713 Spiritual Stone. As Qilin said this, Qi Hongyu's expression darkened instantly, and a murderous intent flashed in her eyes. "Qilin,
How could I not know you had this intention outside the domain? Qi Hongyu said coldly. Killing laughed playfully and said, how dare I think about the woman of the flame dragon Immortal Emperor? But it's different now. On Earth, you have lost the protection of the flame dragon Immortal Emperor, so I will not be afraid of you. Qi Hongyu, how about you seriously consider my proposal? If you and I join forces, we will definitely conquer the Earth. Killing laughed and said, by then, let alone this martial saint with dried up blood and energy, I will hunt down all the strong men on Earth and provide you with a steady stream of resources. No need, Qi Hongyu said in a deep voice. Killing, you said this today, don't you plan to return to the outer domain? Return to the outer domain? Killing couldn't help laughing when he heard this. Qi Hongyu, you are too naive. Among the 10 companions who came to Earth, how many of them do you think still want to return to the outer domain? Killing continued, we had no choice before, but now the opportunity is in front of us. Who is willing to miss the opportunity to get rid of the flame dragon Immortal Emperor and become powerful alone? Qi Hongyu, do you still want to return to the outer domain and continue to be the plaything of the flame dragon Immortal Emperor? Killing said with a playful smile, don't blame me for not reminding you, the flame dragon Immortal Emperor has more than one woman. He treats you well now, but there will always be a day when he gets tired of playing with you. When he thinks you are no longer fresh, he will treat you like a piece of clothing and simply throw you away decisively. Instead of that, you might as well follow me. Although I can't guarantee that I won't find another woman, at least I will treat you better than the flame dragon Immortal Emperor. Shut up, Qi Hongyu said coldly. Killing, you don't even look at who you say you are, and you are worthy of me. Today I will let you know the consequences of speaking rudely to me. Chiffin, don't entangle with him. Come here and join me in killing Killing. After Qi Hongyu finished speaking, he looked at Master Fengxi below and ordered, Fengxi, come here too, let's take action together. After this is accomplished, I will speak well of you two to the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor, and ask him to reward you with cultivation resources. At this moment, Qi Feng was fighting Guo Yi, the two of them going back and forth, the fight fierce and fierce. He seemed to have not heard Qi Hongyu's words, and did not change his mind at all, continuing to duel with Guo Yi. Haha, Qi Hongyu, don't waste your energy. Do you think this is the outside world and they have to listen to you? Killing laughed playfully. Nowadays, strength is respected. Among us, you are the weakest. How could they choose to be the strongest enemy of me for you? Huh? Don't be happy too soon. Qi Hongyu snorted coldly, turned to look at Master Fengxi, and ordered, Fengxi, I don't care about others, you must work with me to wipe out Killing. Otherwise when I meet the Immortal Emperor Yanlong in the future, I will let him kill you. Qi Hongyu, Master Fengxi held the purple gold hammer, his face haggard, and smiled weakly. It's not that I don't help you. You saw that I have consumed a lot of spiritual energy to deal with Wu Qingying just now, and now I am very weak. It's okay to deal with ordinary people, but you want me to fight with Killing. Please forgive me for being powerless, young Master Fengxi added. Killing is of the same clan as the Immortal Emperor Yanlong. You know very well what its true form is. Its strength is undoubtedly the strongest among us. You and I can't beat it even if we join forces. Huh? Why are you pretending in front of me? Qi Hongyu said coldly. The purpose of the Immortal Emperor Yanlong modifying the purple gold hammer for you is to balance Killing. Now that you have the purple gold hammer in your hand, even if you can't suppress Killing, you can be on par with him. A murderous look flashed in Qi Hongyu's eyes. Plus, I am looking for an opportunity to take action on the side. Killing is difficult, but it can be done. I really can't do it anymore. Cough, cough. Young Master Fengxi coughed weakly twice as he spoke, giving people a feeling of being out of breath. Is that so? Qi Hongyu sneered upon hearing this. Fengxi, before you came to Earth, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor modified your weapon, giving you a powerful trump card, and given the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's favor towards me. Do you think he has any trump cards prepared for me? Qi Hongyu then sneered. There's one more thing I'm afraid you don't know. The Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor gave me the 8 spiritual stones. As she spoke, Qi Hongyu's mind moved, and a piece of cyan jade appeared in her delicate hand. The jade was an irregular round object, only the size of an egg, emitting a faint cyan light. A spiritual stone, it really is a spiritual stone. Killing, standing opposite her, saw the cyan jade and his face suddenly changed, a look of panic on his face. Fengxi, Qi Hongyu's mind shifted again, and he put the spiritual stone away. Then he said, I don't need to explain the spiritual stone's function.
Although the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor cannot visit Earth now, that doesn't mean he can't in the future, Qi Hongyu continued. Also, even if you continue to grow on Earth, it will take at least 100,000 years to reach a point where you can rival the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor. During this time, aren't you afraid of encountering the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor? I advise you to leave yourself a way out. It will only benefit you, not harm you, Qi Hongyu warned. Upon hearing this, young Master Fengxi fell silent, carefully weighing the pros and cons of the spiritual stone. It had little offensive power and could not enhance Qi Hongyu's strength, but it intimidated Fengxi. This was because the spiritual stone could communicate with the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor, allowing Qi Hongyu to transmit what was happening on Earth to him through the spiritual stone. Young Master Fengxi intended to remain on Earth and develop his skills, attempting to escape the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor. He shared Killing's feelings. He disregarded the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor. However, such thoughts were naturally inappropriate for the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor to know. At least until he had fully grown, he couldn't provoke the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor. Young Master Fengxi had previously believed that their arrival on Earth had severed contact with the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor, never expecting the Crimson Moon to possess a spiritual communication stone. Now, young Master Fengxi wasn't completely powerless. Though severely weakened, the power of the Purple Gold Hammer's self-detonation was more than enough to force Killing back, or even kill him. However, according to the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor, the Purple Gold Hammer could only explode once within a short period of time. While this explosion was called a self-detonation, it actually did not harm the Purple Gold Hammer. After each explosion, the Purple Gold Hammer would automatically absorb the essence of the sun and moon, allowing it to accumulate energy for another self-detonation after 3 to 5 years. Simply put, it was a surefire move, albeit with a long cooldown. This was young Master Fengxi's most powerful trump card, and he wouldn't use it lightly. Chapter 714 Fengxi's Choice. In the previous battle with Wu Kengying, if he had used the Purple Gold Hammer to self-destruct, he could have easily defeated Wu Kengying. However, because the situation wasn't critical, Master Fengxi didn't use it. He hadn't lied to Qi Hongyu just now. He was truly at the end of his strength and no match for Killing. The only way to defeat Killing was to use the Purple Gold Hammer to self-destruct, which was why Fengxi had refused. But now, Qi Hongyu had produced the spiritual stone, using the pretext of informing the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor as a pretext to force Master Fengxi to take action, leaving Master Fengxi feeling torn. After weighing the pros and cons, Master Fengxi's eyes fell on Killing, and he came up with a way to deal with it that would have the best of both worlds. So he said, Killing, there are some things you shouldn't say, and you shouldn't treat Qi Hongyu with contempt. Let's forget about what happened today. I won't make it difficult for you. Just leave now and pretend nothing happened. Master Fengxi said coldly, if you insist on staying and speaking rudely to Qi Hongyu, don't blame me for being rude. Killing sneered when he heard this. Pretend nothing happened? Fengxi, do you think that's possible? If I say that bitch Qi Hongyu will definitely use the spiritual stone to report to the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor. No matter what, I will anger the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor, Killing sneered. In that case, I might as well go all out and kill Qi Hongyu and take the spiritual stone. Fengxi, join forces with me. I know you and Chipping have a special relationship, and I'm sure we've already reached a consensus. If you agree to join forces, I'll join your alliance. Killing continued, the three of us together are practically invincible on Earth. Even if the other 7 join forces, it won't be enough. You've come to Earth for the same reason I do. Since we all want to break free from the control of the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor and become powerful on Earth, why not destroy the Spirit Communication Stone? Killing suggested, if the Spirit Communication Stone is destroyed, no one will be able to contact the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor. Wouldn't it be safer for us to do whatever we want on Earth? Upon hearing this, young Master Fengxi fell silent again. He naturally considered taking this route, but he was a cautious man. He was still somewhat wary of Qi Hongyu, suspecting that the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor had a hidden weapon for her, so he gave up the idea of destroying the Spirit Communication Stone. Haha, Fengxi, I know what you're worried about. Don't worry, this woman is nothing to fear, Killing said with a playful smile. Since I've decided to join your alliance, I naturally have to show some sincerity. Let me destroy the spiritual stone as a token of my allegiance. Upon hearing this, Master Fengxi remained silent. But Killing was a wise man. He knew Master Fengxi wanted to remain neutral, so he didn't hesitate to speak. However, the silence already gave the answer, clearly tacit consent. Chihongyu, I originally wanted to take you as my woman, but unfortunately, you don't know what's good for you. Since that's the case, then die. Qilin glared at Chihongyu with a cold gaze, and the next moment, he struck decisively. Damn it, Qilin, you forced me to do this. Chihongyu's face darkened. And then she mobilized all her spiritual energy and proactively confronted Qilin. Bang! 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 The two clashed in midair, fighting fiercely, the aftermath of the battle raging on the scene. As for Master Fengxi, now free, he didn't rush to kill Wu Qingying. Instead, he watched the battle from below, holding the purple gold hammer, ready for action. Elsewhere, the battle between Shifen and Guoyi continued, but it was clear that Guoyi was losing ground, relying solely on King Fang's power to hold him up. If this continued, it wouldn't be long before Guoyi was defeated. 4 masters from outside the realm, each one no weaker than young Master Fengxi. What should we do? They're fighting among themselves. Ha ha ha, this is a good opportunity for us. It'd be best if they both suffered losses, but even better if they could perish together. What good things are you thinking? Oh, I didn't expect 2 more to show up all of a sudden. Senior Wu Qingying is also seriously injured and unconscious. This is worrying for the ancient martial arts world. That young man with the feather fan, while powerful, is no match for the masters from outside the realm. He seems to be in a very weak position now. If no more masters show up, I'm afraid that after today, the ancient martial arts world of Earth will be razed to the ground by the masters from outside the realm. The crowd at the scene was buzzing with discussion, their expressions filled with worry and fear. Chihongyu, Qilin, interesting, Su Yang smiled at this. He had been ready to attack, but when he saw the 2 masters from outside the realm arguing, he gave up the idea. 2 enemies fighting, in this case, Su Yang felt it was best not to intervene. The mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. Today, Su Yang will be the oriole, reaping the benefits. Old woman, at this moment, Qianian Shao was channeling qi into Wu Qingying's body, attempting to heal her. However, Wu Qingying's blood and qi were depleted, not exhausted, so the qi transfer was pointless. This frightened Qianian Shao to the point of crying out in grief, his eyes slightly red. Grandpa Jin, seeing this, Su Yang strode over and soothed, "Don't worry. Leave Senior Wu to me. I'm confident she can recover." Really? Qianian Shao looked at Su Yang for confirmation. "Yes, okay, Su Yang, I'll leave this old woman in your care," Qianian Shao said gratefully, overwhelmed with emotion. "Grandpa Jin, you're welcome. This is my duty." Su Yang smiled, then looked at Wu Qingying and, with a sudden thought, stored her in his storage ring. Old woman, 1,000 years kill suddenly became extremely anxious. Su Yang, where did that old woman go? Why did she suddenly disappear? "Don't worry, I put Senior Wu in my storage ring. It's safe there," Su Yang continued. "The situation is quite complicated right now. Once we've dealt with those outsiders, I'll calm down and heal Senior Wu. Don't worry, Senior Wu will be fine." "Storage ring?" 1,000 years kill anxiously asked. "Storage rings can't hold living things." Su Yang, quickly release the old woman. "Grandpa Jin, my storage ring contains the power of space and can hold living things," Su Yang explained. "Is that so?" 1,000 years kill breathed a sigh of relief upon hearing this, silently praying, "Old woman, please don't be in any trouble." Su Yang didn't bother to comfort 1,000 years kill, instead focusing on the battle in the distance. Chihongyu's strength should not be underestimated. The 2 were now evenly matched. Bang! Suddenly, the 2 collided violently, sending both flying backwards. Then, Chihongyu fell to the ground, clutching her shoulder and spitting out a mouthful of blood. Qilin was in slightly better condition, but his blood was still churning, and he was injured, breathing rapidly, and not in good condition. "Haha, Chihongyu, you're certainly quite powerful. You can actually hurt me," Qilin said with a playful smile as he approached Chihongyu. "But you haven't transformed into your true form, otherwise this wouldn't have happened. Now, you can die." With that, Qilin suddenly attacked, intending to kill Chihongyu directly. But at this moment, the silent Master Fengxi suddenly unleashed his purple gold hammer, striking Qilin with swift force. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 715 Half-Dragon Body. At the crucial moment, Master Fengxi struck without mercy, a lethal blow. Initially, Qilin, believing he was forging an alliance with Master Fengxi, hadn't shown any signs of caution. But Master Fengxi's sudden attack caught him completely by surprise, and he quickly abandoned his attempt on Qi Hongyu and dodged. Although Qilin was unprepared, his immense strength ultimately allowed him to evade Master Fengxi's attack. However, Qilin was also struck by the purple gold hammer, further aggravating his injuries. Fengxi, at this time, Qilin stabilized his body, stared at Master Fengxi, his face as gloomy as water, and said, "I want you to give me an explanation why you attacked me. Isn't it obvious enough?" Master Fengxi held the purple gold hammer and said coldly, "Qilin, you are so brave that you dare to provoke the woman of the Immortal Emperor Yanlong. If you don't take the Immortal Emperor Yanlong seriously, I naturally can't let you stay." "Fengxi, why do you say these high-sounding words? The Immortal Emperor Yanlong can't hear it. It would be wonderful if you and I joined forces to dominate the earth together," Qilin tempted again. "Shut up, young Master Fengxi said sternly. "The Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor has been kind to me and has taught me, so naturally I am loyal to him. Qi Hongyu is his woman. Now that I am on Earth, I must protect her on behalf of the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor," young Master Fengxi said in a deep voice. "Qilin, you have betrayed the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor. Everyone can kill you. I was just being coy with you earlier just to let your guard down. You didn't really think I was planning an alliance with you, did you?" Young Master Fengxi let out a cold smile and said, "Qilin, you can't escape today. I will kill you." Young Master Fengxi's loyalty to the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor was far from complete. He was simply more secretive than Qilin. Just now, after careful consideration, young Master Fengxi finally decided to side with Qi Hongyu. There were two main reasons for this. First, Qi Hongyu was the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's most beloved woman. The Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor had offended many people for her and was especially protective of her. This visit to Earth was undoubtedly fraught with danger. Young Master Fengxi concluded that the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor must have given Qi Hongyu a powerful trump card. Although Qi Hongyu was defeated by Qilin, the more this happened, the more suspicious it became to young Master Fengxi. Qi Hongyu was the weakest of the group, and upon arriving on Earth, the 10 of them had severed contact with the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor. The Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor could not have failed to anticipate that the 10 individuals who had come to Earth this time would harbor rebellious thoughts. Given this, how could he have trusted Qi Hongyu, the weakest of the group, to visit Earth? A trump card. Qi Hongyu must have some hidden card. Furthermore, there was another crucial point. Qilin was too powerful. Without the purple gold hammer, young Master Fengxi would have been unable to suppress him, and would have been a far greater opponent. However, the purple gold hammer's most powerful self-destruct had a long cooldown period, and during this time, young Master Fengxi lacked the confidence to defeat Qilin. Cooperating with someone more powerful than himself was too risky. Rather than that, it would be better to unite with Qi Hongyu. This way, they could show their loyalty to the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor, leaving themselves a way out, and also seize the opportunity to eliminate Qilin, eliminating future trouble. Therefore, at the critical moment, Master Fengxi chose to attack Qilin, injuring him. "Haha, Fengxi, you made the right decision. I will use the spiritual stone to convey today's events to the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor, so that he can reward you with cultivation resources in the future," Qi Hongyu, lying on the ground, said slightly weakly. "Thank you very much, Miss Hongyu." Master Fengxi smiled and clasped his fists. "You deserve it." Qi Hongyu forced himself to stand, wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and urged, "Fengxi, proceed. Let's join forces and quickly eliminate Qilin." "Okay," Master Fengxi nodded, then stared coldly at Qilin across from him. The atmosphere was tense. "Haha, Fengxi," Qi Hongyu, Qilin sneered, "you two are so naive. Do you really think you can take on me together? What a joke. Don't forget, I haven't even recovered my true form. If I were to return to my true form, let alone your serious injuries, even at your peak strength, you wouldn't be my match," Qilin said confidently. "Stop talking nonsense, Qilin, and prepare to die," Qi Hongyu said coldly, then forced a breath and, ignoring his own injuries, attacked Qilin. "You want to kill me? Dream on. Today,
I'll show you the real me, roar, Killing sneered in response, then suddenly let out a dragon's roar. In the blink of an eye, his face and arms were covered in dragon scales. And the next moment, his body underwent a drastic transformation, practically transforming from a human into a golden dragon. Wow, so strong, is this Killing's true strength? He's worthy of being a demon, truly terrifying. Young Master Fengxi, standing nearby, witnessed Killing's transformation firsthand, his expression growing solemn. But then, his eyes narrowed slightly, a murderous glint gleaming in them. We can't let Killing recover. With Chi Hongyu and I injured, even if we join forces, we're probably no match for him. It seems I have no choice but to use that move. Young Master Fengxi finally made his decision, throwing his purple gold hammer into the air and saying in a deep voice, "Purple gold hammer, give it to me." Explode, boom. Instantly, the purple gold hammer erupted with an intense radiance, illuminating the entire world. Immediately, a terrifying force surged forth like a tidal wave, sweeping over and crushing Killing. Killing sensed the power of this attack. It was beyond his ability to resist. At that moment, he completely transformed into a golden dragon, his body over 10 meters long, lying horizontally in midair. In this state, Killing was at his strongest, but he still knew he couldn't match Master Fengxi's attack. Therefore, Killing controlled his body and quickly fled, intending to avoid the attack and save his life first. However, the power of the purple gold hammer's self-detonation was too overwhelming. Even an early-stage spiritual transformation cultivator wouldn't be able to escape unscathed, and Killing certainly couldn't do it. Puff. The next moment, the force of the purple gold hammer's self-detonation cleaved Killing in half. Half of the dragon's body fell to the ground, creating a hole in the ground. Fengxi, Chi Hongyu, Killing. Will remember this humiliation today. I will definitely settle the score with you one day and make sure you die. Killing uttered a harsh word, then dragged his crippled body, activated his secret technique, and instantly left the scene. You want to leave? Have you asked for my permission? Chi Hongyu clearly didn't want to let Killing go so easily and started to chase him. Miss Hongyu, young Master Fengxi said weakly, don't pursue a desperate enemy. You're already quite injured, and there's no guarantee Killing won't have other means to defeat him. If we can't kill him in one fell swoop, we should pursue him, okay? Chi Hongyu pondered for a few seconds, then finally nodded, accepting young Master Fengxi's advice. Killing escaped today with his body severed. His strength must have been greatly reduced, and he won't pose any threat to us in the future. Also, his half-dragon body would be of great use to me. Chi Hongyu glanced at the falling dragon body and said, Fengxi, how about giving it to me? Miss Hongyu, you're very polite. Since you want it, just take it. Why ask for my permission? Young Master Fengxi smiled. This is your trophy. Naturally, I need your permission. Fengxi, thank you very much. Chi Hongyu smiled, and with a thought, she stored the half-dragon body in her stored ring. Then, Chi Hongyu looked at Master Fengxi with interest and smiled gently. Fengxi, even Killing couldn't resist your move just now. It's so terrifying. Haha, it's not worth mentioning. It was all thanks to the purple gold hammer that the flame dragon Immortal Emperor modified for me. Master Fengxi smiled. Chi Hongyu smiled and did not continue the topic. Instead, she said, Killing is useless. How about I cooperate with you from now on? It would be an honor. Young Master Fengxi smiled and said, Miss Hongyu, with your joining, we will definitely be able to better fulfill the instructions of the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor and strive to return to the outer domain as soon as possible. Upon hearing this, Chi Hongyu revealed a playful smile. Fengxi, Killing is gone. There is no need for you to pretend in front of me. I know what you are thinking. It must be similar to Killing. You want to grow on Earth and get rid of the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor. Chi Hongyu continued, don't deny it, and don't hide it. In fact, I think the same thing. If I had a choice, I wouldn't want to stay with the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor and obey his orders. Fengxi, I think we can join forces and conquer the Earth together. Chi Hongyu said seriously, you are much more pleasing to the eye than that guy Killing. Maybe in the future, we can become Taoist companions in life together. Wouldn't it be wonderful? Miss Hongyu, you're joking. Young Master Fengxi smiled softly, choosing not to confess to Chi Hongyu. Don't be so cautious. I'm not testing you. Never mind. Let's talk about this later. Chi Hongyu looked at young Master Fengxi and suddenly asked, by the way, young Master Fengxi,
Can you use the terrifying power of the purple gold hammer just now? Can you use it continuously, or only once? It's here. It's finally here. Qi Hongyu had been trying to get close to young Master Fengxi, saying so much, just to get him to let down his guard and answer her question truthfully. Now, Qi Hongyu's beautiful eyes fixed on young Master Fengxi, awaiting his response, her gaze shifting between the purple gold hammer. This object was incredibly powerful, and Qi Hongyu naturally coveted it. If she could seize the purple gold hammer, she would no longer have to fear the other powerful beings who had come to Earth with her. Now, although Qi Hongyu was gravely injured, young Master Fengxi was even more severely injured. If he could no longer mobilize the purple gold hammer, Qi Hongyu was confident of stealing this precious treasure. There was another point. Qi Hongyu was no fool. She vaguely guessed that young Master Fengxi couldn't use that terrifying burst repeatedly. Otherwise, he would have used it during his previous clash with Wu Kengying, rather than choosing a mutually devastating battle. Since young Master Fengxi didn't use it, it meant he couldn't use that terrifying burst continuously, as each use would inflict immense damage. However, these were only speculations, unconfirmed. That's why Qi Hongyu asked, testing young Master Fengxi. If young Master Fengxi avoided answering, or if a hint of panic crossed his eyes, then her suspicions were correct. Then, Qi Hongyu would strike without hesitation. At this moment, Master Fengxi's mouth curled up and he smiled slightly. To be honest, Miss Hongyu, the move I just used against Qilin was far beyond my true strength. It was the power of the purple gold hammer's self-detonation, but this self-detonation is not a real self-detonation, it just produces a power similar to a self-detonation. Master Fengxi was not panicked. He smiled calmly and said, and I can only use it twice in a row. After 2 times, the purple gold hammer will reabsorb the essence of the sun and the moon and replenish its energy. It will take about 3 to 5 years for it to accumulate enough energy again. In other words, if I use it twice in a row, I can't use it anymore. Master Fengxi said half seriously, we are on Earth, and there are many dangers. This is my only trump card, so I won't use it unless it's absolutely necessary. Just now, when we fought Qilin, he wanted to restore his true form. It was a situation of no return. Master Fengxi said, I had no choice but to use the power of the purple gold hammer's self-detonation once. Unfortunately, I didn't kill him and he escaped. I see. Upon hearing this, Qi Hongyu nodded and said, so, you can use it again, right? Yes, young Master Fengxi nodded calmly, but inwardly, he felt a little uneasy. The purple gold hammer had self-destructed, so he could only use it once. Young Master Fengxi had miscalculated, thinking he could eliminate Qilin, so he used his trump card. Instead of killing Qilin, he used his ultimate trump card, a loss that outweighed the gain. However, young Master Fengxi was gambling. He was betting that Qi Hongyu couldn't see through him and wouldn't dare to turn against him. So, no matter how panicked young Master Fengxi was, he couldn't show it, otherwise he would be doomed. And sure enough, Qi Hongyu, after assessing him, finally gave up and decided not to fight young Master Fengxi. Fengxi, that old woman at the martial saint level is mine. Is that okay with you? Qi Hongyu then spoke. Of course not, young Master Fengxi nodded, and then his eyes fell on Su Yang, and then he said, however, Wu Kengying was taken into the storage ring by this kid. If you want her physical body, I'm afraid you have to deal with this kid first. Just an Earth native, nothing to be afraid of. Qi Hongyu glanced at Su Yang with a hint of disdain in her eyes, and she didn't take Su Yang seriously. Upon hearing this, young Master Fengxi warned, Miss Hongyu, don't underestimate him, his name is Su Yang. He was the one who started the revolution of ancient martial arts. Not long ago, he killed Master Yaoming and my father Changfen. His strength should not be underestimated. Oh, Qi Hongyu was surprised when she heard this. Master Yaoming is not weaker than me. This kid looks so ordinary, how can he kill Master Yaoming? Are you kidding? Chapter 716. Do you really think I'm weak? From beginning to end, Su Yang stood below, revealing no trace of spiritual energy fluctuations. He possessed a void tower, completely concealing his aura, making it impossible for even a cultivator at the divine transformation realm to detect it. Therefore, Qi Hongyu questioned Master Fengxi's words, believing Su Yang to be vulnerable and full of disdain for him. This kid is proficient in formations. He wiped out the Netherworld Master by using formations. Otherwise, he would not be a match for the Netherworld Master. Master Fengxi held the purple gold hammer and looked at Su Yang while laughing softly. However, don't underestimate him, this kid is still something. It was him who killed my father Chang Fang not long ago, and he relied entirely on his own strength. Master Fengxi continued, I guess he should be in the early or middle stage of the nascent soul realm, and possesses some kind of treasure that can conceal his aura and realm. Is that so? Qi Hongyu showed a playful smile. Early or middle stage of the nascent soul realm? There is nothing to be afraid of. Even if the two of us are seriously injured, we can easily crush him. Fengxi, you said he possesses a treasure. Although I don't know what it is, I am quite interested. Qi Hongyu laughed softly. You already have the purple gold hammer, so don't fight with me for it. Haha, no problem. Young Master Fengxi nodded, and then said, if nothing unexpected happens, his treasure should be the 9-story glazed pagoda, also called the Void Pagoda. Void Pagoda. When Qi Hongyu heard this, his expression suddenly became serious, and asked as if to confirm, Fengxi, are you serious? Absolutely true. The imperial weapon of the Immortal Emperor Xuantian, the 9-story glazed pagoda. Qi Hongyu asked again. Young Master Fengxi nodded slightly, then smiled. Su Yang's surname is Su. You should be able to guess who he's descended from. Su. Qi Hongyu seemed to have a thought, and suddenly realized, he's a descendant of Su Wuji. Indeed, young Master Fengxi said. Over 100 years ago, the Immortal Emperor Xuantian suddenly appeared on Earth for unknown reasons and passed on to Su Wuji the powerful technique, the Wu divine art. Furthermore, to help Su Wuji resist the ominous influence, the Immortal Emperor Xuantian directly lent him his own imperial weapon, the Void Tower. With the Wu divine art and the Void Tower, Su Wuji rose from humble beginnings, steadily making steady progress, and soon reached the peak of the Jiandan realm. Young Master Fengxi continued. Afterwards, the Immortal Emperor Xuantian and the Immortal Emperor Yanlong made a bet on Su Wuji. The Immortal Emperor Xuantian firmly believed that man could conquer nature. Even without the Void Tower, Su Wuji could have resisted the ominous influence and broken through to the nascent soul realm. The Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor believed that Su Wuji could not break the rules and would eventually die in an ominous state. So, Su Wuji abandoned the Void Tower and, with the help of the Xuantian Immortal Emperor, divided the Void Tower into several parts, giving them to several of his disciples and the geniuses he valued. Young Master Fengxi continued, among them, there is the 3-story Void Tower at the bottom, which Su Wuji gave to his son Su Qianqian. The ominousness between heaven and earth can only be resisted by things containing imperial artifacts. Su Yang can ignore the ominousness and step into the nascent soul stage step by step. He must have obtained a treasure related to the imperial artifact. Young Master Fengxi continued, so, I guess he inherited the Su family's 3-story Void Tower. Miss Hongyu, this item is a rare treasure. Since you asked, I will give it to you. Young Master Fengxi smiled lightly and said, however, I hope you can give me the spiritual stone. I have a lot of information that I want to feed back to the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor. Okay. Upon hearing this, Qi Hongyu agreed without hesitation. Then, with a sudden thought, she took out the spiritual stone and said, Fengxi, you're quite straightforward. You're not even tempted by the Void Tower. I admire you very much. This spiritual stone is just a communication tool. It's useless for me to come, and I'm too lazy to even hear the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's voice. I'll give it to you. With that, Qi Hongyu casually tossed the spiritual stone away, clearly unconcerned. Young Master Fengxi, however, was deeply impressed, his face instantly beaming with joy as he reached out to catch it. But at that moment, Su Yang suddenly struck, unleashing his power of a world away. He instantly appeared before young Master Fengxi and snatched the spiritual stone away. With a swish. At the same moment, young Master Fengxi reacted, furiously striking Su Yang with a palm strike. Qi Hongyu did the same, channeling her remaining spiritual energy and radiating a red light as sharp as a knife, striking Su Yang in the process. Bang! Bang! The two men were already seriously injured, and Su Yang was no threat to their casual attacks, easily dodging them. The next moment, the two attacks exploded in the air, their aftermath rippling all around. At this moment, Su Yang landed steadily on the ground, about 5 or 6 meters away from the two men. He toyed with his spiritual stone, then put it into his stored ring. He looked up at Master Fengxi and Qi Hongyu, grinning playfully. You two, you've been chatting for so long, and you even allocated my Void Tower. What? Do you really think I'm a lamb to be slaughtered? Su Yang, Master Fengxi met Su Yang's gaze and said in a deep voice, "Hand over the spiritual stone, or I'll kill you." What a joke. "If I hand it over, you'll stop attacking me," Su Yang chuckled coldly. "HMPH, young Master Fengxi snapped. "At the very least, I can let you die comfortably, free from torture." "That won't be necessary," Su Yang chuckled softly. "I don't think you two have the strength to kill me. On the contrary, your lives are now in my control." "Haha, ridiculous." Upon hearing this, Qi Hongyu sneered. "Su Yang, you're so arrogant. Do you really think that just because you've reached the nascent soul stage, you can challenge powerful beings from outside the realm? Prepare to die." Without hesitation, Qi Hongyu lunged at Su Yang. Despite her severe injuries, young Master Fengxi had told her that Su Yang was at most in the middle nascent soul stage. She wasn't afraid of a cultivator at that level, believing she could defeat him in a single blow. Young Master Fengxi, standing nearby, had considered joining in the attack, but after careful consideration, he abandoned the idea. Su Yang is a bit peculiar. I've never seen him attack, so I don't know his true realm. Mid-nascent soul stage is just my guess. Let Qi Hongyu test it. If she can kill Su Yang, that's great. But if she can't, then given my current situation, I'm no match for him. I'm making preparations to slip away, just in case. With this thought, Master Fengxi took a half step back, ready to flee at any moment. Haha, Su Yang looked at Qi Hongyu, who was charging at him, without a trace of panic. He muttered to himself, "Void Tower, move out." Chapter 717, collected into the Void Tower. The next moment, a small tower materialized, hovering above Su Yang's head. Thousands of rays of light descended simultaneously, enveloping Su Yang tightly, impervious to all attacks and radiating a terrifying aura. Then, Su Yang controlled the Void Tower, proactively confronting Qi Hongyu. A terrifying aura emanated, the crushing air humming. Bang! In the blink of an eye, Qi Hongyu's palm slammed down on Su Yang. Su Yang didn't dodge, using the Void Tower to resist. Currently, Qi Hongyu, severely injured, could only strike at the might of a late nascent soul stage. He had thought he could kill Su Yang. However, this palm strike, against the myriad rays of light, couldn't even break through Su Yang's defenses. Su Yang remained motionless. "Now, it's my turn," Su Yang sneered, giving Qi Hongyu no chance to resist. He unleashed the 100 reincarnation fist. Bang! Su Yang unleashed this blow with all his might, a devastating force accompanied by various negative effects. The moment the 100 lifetimes reincarnation fist struck her, Qi Hongyu fell into a state of confusion, memories flashing through her mind. But she quickly reacted and tried to resist, but the fist had already landed. With a dull thud, Qi Hongyu's body suddenly flew backwards. Under the immense force, Qi Hongyu fell unconscious upon landing. She was stunned. Su Yang's single punch had completely stunned her, leaving her no chance to resist. Collect! Immediately, Su Yang controlled the Void Tower to fly over and then stored Qi Hongyu within the Void Tower. Now, Su Yang had reached the early nascent soul stage, capable of fighting across levels. With a Void Tower, he could face off against peak nascent soul cultivators head-on. Furthermore, Su Yang could now operate the first level of the Void Tower, which would be much more convenient in the future. For example, Su Yang felt she could still be useful. After all, she was the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's woman, and she might know something, so he stored her within the Void Tower. Su Yang appeared casual, but in reality, he was deeply wary. He feared the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor had given Qi Hongyu a powerful trump card. So, without mercy, he unleashed his full force, stunning her with a single punch. He then quickly stored her in the Void Tower. Even if she truly possessed a trump card, she wouldn't have the chance to use it. Once inside the Void Tower, Su Yang held absolute control. Unless they reached the Emperor realm, even cultivators at the Tribulation Crossing stage were subject to Su Yang's command once they entered the Void Tower. Because Su Yang was the master of the Void Tower, he reigned supreme, ruling over everything. That killing left behind half of his dragon body. That's quite something. Also, this woman has a strong connection to the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor. I'm sure her storage ring is filled with cultivation supplies. This is a huge win. After storing Qi Hongyu in the Void Tower, Su Yang smiled with satisfaction. However, he didn't rush to retrieve the items. Instead, he controlled the Void Tower and strode after Master Fengxi. The moment Qi Hongyu was defeated, young Master Fengxi had already fled. Haha, young Master Fengxi, you can't escape. You've invaded Kunlun Mountain, imprisoned my loved ones, and are now rampaging across Earth. Today, you will undoubtedly die. Su Yang soared into the air, summoning the Void Tower, ready to blast the severely injured young Master Fengxi to death. Had young Master Fengxi been at his peak, Su Yang would have had a difficult time. Not only him, but even against Qi Hongyu, Su Yang wouldn't have been able to defeat him so easily. But now, with both men at their wits' end, Su Yang found the fight effortless. At this moment, facing the Void Tower's aggressive pursuit, young Master Fengxi had no power to fight back, and so he begged for mercy. Su Yang, let me go. I can tell you everything I know. Also, I am willing to follow you, sign a soul contract with you, and help you deal with other masters from outside the domain. Haha, no need. After killing you and taking away your cultivation resources, I will definitely be promoted. I can then sweep everything by myself, and keeping you will be useless. Su Yang decisively refused. Besides, you have too many thoughts. I don't have the habit of raising a tiger to harm myself. Su Yang, seeing Su Yang's refusal, Master Fengxi said with a gloomy face, don't push your luck. If you push me into a corner, you won't have an easy time. Oh, Su Yang raised his eyebrows and said, it seems that you still have some tricks up your sleeve. Come on, use them and let me see what other cards you have hidden. Humph, Su Yang, you forced me to do this. Master Fengxi's face was as gloomy as water. After hesitating for a while, he finally gritted his teeth, threw the purple gold hammer into the air, and said in a deep voice, purple gold hammer, give it to me. Explode. He could indeed only use the purple gold hammer once, and that was used against Qilin, severing half of his body. However, that wasn't a true self-destruction, merely a skill. Now, to save his life, Master Fengxi decided to abandon the purple gold hammer and let it truly self-destruct, thereby killing Su Yang. Even if he couldn't kill him, he could still hold Su Yang back, giving him a chance to escape. As the saying goes, as long as there's life, there's no need to worry about lack of firewood. As long as he was still alive, what was a mere purple gold hammer? Buzz! At this moment, the purple gold hammer met the Void Tower, ablaze with light, emitting a terrifying aura that continued to grow. Su Yang frowned at this and hurriedly controlled the Void Tower to defend. Thousands of rays of light descended, completely shielding Su Yang, making him invulnerable to all attacks. Bang! The next moment, the purple gold hammer exploded with a terrifying force that swept in all directions. Everything in midair was swept and severed by this force. Fortunately, it happened midair, otherwise, none of the ancient warriors and cultivators from the major clans would have escaped unscathed. Although Su Yang was in midair, he was protected by the Void Tower, so he was unaffected. After all, the Void Tower was once an imperial artifact, its materials and the laws of power contained within far surpassed those of the purple gold hammer. Even so, Su Yang was not at ease. He was slightly affected, his blood and ki surging, and he spat out a mouthful of blood, but fortunately, it was not a major problem. 10 seconds later, the light at the scene faded, and the purple gold hammer had shattered into slag, dissipating into the air. Su Yang, with a thought, poured away the Void Tower. Looking again, Master Fengxi had vanished. What a pity, Su Yang lamented, then said, but it doesn't matter. He's seriously injured. And without the purple gold hammer, he's nothing to fear. Next time we meet, I can easily destroy him. It's just that his body can't be used to pass on to Su Qingyi. Puff. At this moment, the battle on the other side concluded. Guo Yi was ultimately defeated by Chifin, forced back by a single blow. Fortunately, Guo Yi was protected by the King Fang Fan, so he escaped serious harm, only spitting out a mouthful of blood. As for Chifin, although he had the upper hand, he was constantly monitoring the situation here. Upon learning that Qilin had been deposed, Qi Hongyu had been imprisoned, and even Master Fengxi had fled, he naturally dared not linger any longer and turned to flee. Chapter 718 Su Liu. Haha, you injured my subordinates, and now you're thinking of leaving? It's too late, Su Yang sneered at this and leaped forward to attack. Bang! 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 100 reincarnation fists flew in a continuous stream. Qi Feng had battled Guo Yi for a long time, and although he had defeated Guo Yi, he had also been greatly exhausted. Now facing Su Yang, he was naturally powerless and was dominated. After dozens of rounds, Su Yang emerged victorious, punching Qi Feng in the chest, knocking him to the ground and completely losing his fighting power. Puff, Qi Feng lay on the ground, clutching his chest in pain, spurting blood. His face pale, he said, "Su Yang, don't kill me. I know the secret of the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor." "What secret? Tell me." Su Yang landed in front of Qi Feng, looking down at him, his voice cold and condescending. "Soon, he will arrive on Earth," Qi Feng said weakly. Su Yang frowned and said, "The news I heard is that the natural formation protecting the Earth has been strengthened, and the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor cannot enter. Even if he lowered his status to the quasi-emperor realm, he cannot set foot on Earth." "Are you lying to me?" "No, I'm telling the truth," Qi Feng explained, trying to save his life. "It's exactly as you said. The formation protecting the Earth has been strengthened. The Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor made many preparations, thinking he could visit Earth in full strength, but because the formation was strengthened, his wish was dashed. But the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor was unwilling to accept this and found a new way to return to Earth at the quasi-emperor realm," Qi Feng continued. "Although I don't know what this method is, it must be related to young Master Fengxi. That's why I deliberately approached young Master Fengxi and formed an alliance with him, with the goal of finding out the truth." Qi Feng continued, "I also don't want the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor to visit Earth. I want to break free from his control, so I prepared at the critical moment to prevent his arrival. Su Yang, please let me go. I'll go find Master Fengxi, get close to him, and find out what's going on. Then I'll report back to you. Sparing my life will only benefit you." Qi Feng and Su Yang communicated via telepathy, inaudible to the others present. Su Yang looked at Qi Feng and sneered, "Even if what you say is true, I can't spare you. Aren't you afraid that the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor, at the quasi-emperor level, will arrive on Earth?" Qi Feng asked. "Yes," Su Yang smiled softly, "I'm afraid he won't come." With that, Su Yang struck decisively, killing Qi Feng with a volley of blows. In an instant, Qi Feng was reduced to a corpse. Originally at the peak of the spiritual transformation realm, he had been suppressed to the nascent soul realm after his arrival on Earth. He had planned to make great strides, but now his plans met a dismal end. "Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor, you must come," Su Yang sneered repeatedly. Then, with a thought, he collected Qi Feng's body. He had promised Su Qingyi that he would retrieve Master Fengxi's corpse and reattach his limbs. Master Fengxi had escaped, but the body he had been granted was not bad, reaching the same realm as Master Fengxi. Furthermore, within Qi Hongguyu's storage ring was a half-dragon body, perfectly suited for integration, allowing Su Qingyi to possess a true dragon body. His future growth boundless. As for the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's arrival on Earth at the quasi-emperor level, Su Yang wasn't being sarcastic. He truly hoped for the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's arrival. Jing Kai, the terrifying figure beneath Jilfang Mountain, had already broken through to the true emperor realm, becoming the second true emperor in Earth's thousands of years. The first was the first emperor, Zulong, and the second was Jing Kai. Although Jing Kai's current state was unstable, sometimes lucid and sometimes possessed, his combat prowess was that of an emperor. If the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor arrived at the quasi-emperor level, he would undoubtedly be defeated, and there was a high probability he would die on Earth. Therefore, Su Yang didn't pursue young Master Fengxi. Wasn't he the key to the arrival of the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor? He could just let them deal with him and wait for the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor to arrive and die. At this moment, the 4 outsider masters who descended on Jilfang Mountain had either fled, died, or been crippled. One was even imprisoned. The crisis was completely resolved. I didn't expect that Su Yang actually possessed such terrifying strength. It's so surprising. Half a year ago, it was him who turned the tide and started the revolution of ancient martial arts. It's him again this time. Alliance leader Su will never let people down. He is the representative of miracles. In such a short period of time, he has grown from the early stage of foundation building to the point where he can compete with the peak of Yuanying. He is worthy of being the chosen one. No wonder he can start the revolution of ancient martial arts. To be honest, our alliance leader is a bit of a dog. He hides his strength and waits until others are almost beaten, and then jumps out to finish the battle. It's really too much. He is just an old man. What do you know? This is forbearance, a strategy. If the alliance leader had taken action early on, would the masters from outside the domain still kill each other? They are not weak. If they form a united front, I am afraid the alliance leader will also suffer. Indeed, the alliance leader is resourceful, forbearing, and finally making a fatal move. This is how he can accomplish great things. Old Six Su is invincible. How dare you give the Alliance leader a nickname? Do you still want to make it in the ancient martial arts world? Beware of what Alliance leader Old Six says. You'll be damned, haha. Alliance leader Old Six, sure. Alliance leader Old Six is invincible. Alliance leader Old Six is invincible. Alliance leader Old Six is invincible. The ancient martial arts present, seeing the crisis at Jiufang Mountain resolved and the ancient martial arts world triumph, were all overjoyed. Suddenly, they cheered and embraced Su Yang. Su Yang was furious. What the hell, what kind of people are these? How did he become Old Six? However, Su Yang gave a wry smile and didn't bother with him. Sixth is sixth, he said. Then, Su Yang approached Guo Yi and asked, Guo Yi, how are your injuries? Nothing serious. I just forced the King Fang Fan and suffered some backlash. I'll be fine after some rest, Guo Yi said with a soft laugh. Yes, Su Yang nodded, then, with a thought, he pulled out his sealed storage ring. His consciousness scanned it, revealing a number of useful items. He then pulled out a bottle of elixirs and handed it to Guo Yi, saying, keep this. It will heal your injuries. There are 5 pills in it. Take only 2, no more will do any good. In 3 days, you'll be back to full health. Thank you, Master. Guo Yi took the pills and thanked Su Yang respectfully. You're welcome. Thanks to you today, you deserve this. Su Yang smiled softly, then glanced around at the ancient clan masters who had accompanied young Master Fengxi. A fierce glint flashed in his eyes. Now, it's time to eliminate the traitors who have defected to the outside world. As he spoke, Su Yang's mighty power was unleashed without reservation, sweeping across the surrounding area. The members of the 10 ancient clans present were terrified, their faces pale, their bodies trembling as they knelt on the ground. Chapter 719 Zai Family Participation. The Sixth Alliance. No, Alliance Leader Su, please let us go. We were forced to seek refuge outside the realm? Yes, Alliance Leader Su, the masters from outside the realm are simply too powerful. We have no way to fight back, so we had no choice but to compromise. We are all Earthlings. If we had our own choice, who would want to betray their compatriots? Alliance Leader Su, please be magnanimous. Please give us another chance. The 10 ancient clans, hundreds of cultivators, all knelt on the ground and begged for mercy. This time, 2 families did not come. One of them was naturally the Nanguang family, which had already surrendered to Su Yang. The other was the Shangguan family, because the Shangguan family guarded the top masters of the famous mountains. Young Master Fengxi had imprisoned them with the Shangguan family and handed them over to their custody. Besides these 2 major families, families like the Dongfang family, the Duanmu family, and even the Zai family all sent representatives. Young Master Su, at this time, Zifan Liang of the Zai family mustered up the courage to step forward and greeted Su Yang cautiously. It's you, Su Yang recognized Zifan Liang. He had met him in Wudang Mountain, where he had led numerous Zai family masters to defend him. Indeed, the success of the ancient martial arts reform was inseparable from the Zai family and Zifan Liang and his son, both of whom had made significant contributions. It's me. I didn't expect young Master Su to still remember me. Zifan Liang was thrilled and somewhat moved. The last time they met, Su Yang was still a Foundation establishment cultivator, and Zifan Liang hadn't taken him seriously. But who could have known that Su Yang had now grown to the point where he could obliterate a peak nascent soul cultivator? What a twist of fate. Yes, Su Yang nodded and said, you've done me a favor, so I won't forget it. But why are you with these people? Has your Zai family defected to the outer realm? Well, yes, but we were forced to do so. It's a long story, Zifan Liang sighed and explained. Not long after the ancient martial arts revolution, Jian Chen, the outer realm expert who controlled the Dongfang family, convened a meeting at the Dongfang family. Representatives from the 10 ancient clans were required to attend. Our Zai family, of course, had to attend, so my father, Zai Loi, went to the Dongfang family in person. Zifan Liang continued. At the meeting, the Dongfang family proposed that the 10 ancient clans unite to cleanse the ancient martial arts world and destroy the various renowned mountains. My father was the first to speak out in opposition, refusing to comply until his death. As a result, he was killed by Jian Shen with a single strike. Afterwards, Shangguan Wuyan, the head of the Shangguan family, immediately came to the Zai family to remind them to proceed with caution and to proactively defect to the outer realm. Otherwise they would be destroyed. At this point, Zifan Liang's eyes were slightly red, and he choked a little. In order to save hundreds of lives of the Zai family, and to preserve the Zai family's thousands of years of inheritance, I had no choice but to follow what the head of the Shengguan family said and take the initiative to contact the Dongfang family and seek refuge outside the domain. In the end, with the plea of the head of the Shengguan family, the Zai family was spared. But was branded as a surrender to the enemy. Zifan Liang said with a complicated expression, "Hey, I don't know whether I am right or wrong to do this. Mr. Su, if you want to punish me alone. I am the one who led all this. The people of the Zai family just obeyed my orders. Please don't blame them. Head of the family, you did nothing wrong to save the Zai family. Yes, if it weren't for you, we would have died half a year ago. How could we live until now? Let's die together, die together." Many members of the Zai family who came to Jilfang Mountain stood behind Zifan Liang, wanting to live and die with him. "You?" Seeing this, Zifan Liang said coldly, "Stupid, all of you, retreat." Of the many masters of the Zai family, not a single one retreated. Each one was prepared to die heroically. "Alright," after learning the truth, Su Yang said calmly, "Zifan Liang, don't play up the separation of life and death. I have heard everything that happened. After your father's death, you chose to live in disgrace in order to preserve the Zai family's inheritance. This is understandable," Su Yang continued. "What's more, you have contributed to the reform of ancient martial arts. Naturally, I will not punish you. Stand behind me. As for the other families, especially the Dongfang family," Su Yang smiled coldly, and a fierce murderous intent flashed in his eyes. "Alliance leader Su, please spare us. We were forced into this. Please, have mercy and give us a chance to mend our ways." "Yes, Alliance leader Su, over 100 years ago, Lord Jian Chen, no, that bastard Jian Chen, took control of the Dongfang family. We wanted to resist, but unfortunately, we were powerless, Alliance leader Su, and besides, the decision to flee to the outer realm was made by the Dongfang family's top brass. It had nothing to do with us." The Dongfang family's numerous masters tried to explain, each one terrified. "Haha," Su Yang sneered and said in a deep voice, "That being said, you are proud to have fled to the outer realm, to have masters from outside the realm in command. For this alone, you will be punished." Puff puff puff. As soon as he finished speaking, Su Yang struck decisively. With a single wave of his hand, he annihilated nearly all of the Dongfang family's masters, leaving only one alive. "Why didn't your Dongfang family's patriarch, Dongfang Liang, come? Where is he now?" Su Yang demanded coldly. The patriarch went into seclusion 6 months ago, and I haven't seen him in ages." The survivor knelt on the ground, his voice trembling. "Alliance Master Su, please don't kill me. I never dare work for outsiders again." Too late, Su Yang's face darkened. He raised his hand again, slaying the man. Today, many powerful figures from the 10 ancient clans had arrived. Almost all of Earth's cultivators were from the 10 ancient clans. Su Yang couldn't kill them all, lest he cut off the Earth cultivators' heritage. However, killing a chicken to scare the monkeys was necessary, to serve as a warning to these cultivators, to let them know that siding with outsiders doesn't end well. As you can see, outsiders aren't invincible. Today, I'll spare you. I'll give you one chance. If I see you siding with them again, don't blame me for being rude," Su Yang said coldly, unleashing a terrifying aura that swept across the entire arena, leaving the cultivators trembling with fear. "Thank you, Master Su, for your mercy. Thank you, Master Su, for your mercy. Thank you, Master Su, for your mercy." Everyone felt relieved, bowing their heads, completely surrendering to Su Yang's pressure. Guo Yi. At this moment, Su Yang remembered Guo Yi's story and said, "The Zai Hao family is here. As for how to deal with them, it's up to you." "Thank you, Master." Guo Yi bowed and respectfully thanked Su Yang. Su Yang nodded, then turned his gaze to Zifan Liang and asked, "Zifan Liang, where did your ancestor Ziao go? Why didn't you mention it just now?" Chapter 720 Ziao's whereabouts. Su Yang had a deep impression of Ziao, especially the last time he was poisoned by Lin Yuan, and it was Ziao who finally helped him recover. From the beginning, Ziao had been incredibly kind to Su Yang, paying no attention to anyone else except him. Later, Su Yang learned that Ziao's kindness to him stemmed from her mother, Shi Yuan. Shi Yuan had once been a ray of white moonlight, warming Ziao's heart. Later, events shifted Xiao's affections towards Su Yang. Xiao had saved Su Yang countless times, and every time Su Yang was on the brink of death, a figure in white would appear to avert the crisis. Now, 6 months had passed since their last meeting. Experts from outside the realm were threatening the Xi family, and as the patriarch, Xiao had no reason not to intervene. Yet, Zifeng Liang hadn't mentioned Xiao, which gave Su Yang a vague sense of foreboding. The ancestor, Dongfang Liang, smiled bitterly when he heard Su Yang's question. Alliance Master Su, to be honest, I haven't seen the ancestor since I last saw her in Wuding Mountain. She didn't go back to the Xi family. I don't know where she went and I can't contact her, Dongfang Liang continued. However, it's a good thing that the ancestor is gone. Otherwise, with the ancestor's character, she would definitely not succumb to any force, and the ancestor has always been vengeful. Jian Chen killed my father, and the ancestor would definitely seek revenge on Jian Chen at all costs, Dongfang Liang continued, and the masters from outside the domain are powerful. How could the ancestor be the opponent of those people? Therefore, I didn't deliberately look for the ancestor. Huh? Su Yang frowned and said, Xiao didn't go back to the Xi family, so where could she go? I don't know. Dongfang Liang shook his head, which meant he didn't know. Su Yang, at this moment, Qianian Shan approached and said, I know a little about Xiao. She went to the Xi family's ancestral land, and Yao and Xing were with her. The Xi family's ancestral land, Su Yang asked, puzzled. Yao and Xing went too. Yes, Qianian Shan nodded and said, this was discussed between Zuir and Xiao. The specific reason is unknown, Su Yang, don't worry about that. Zuir trusts Xiao, and she knows you. She definitely wouldn't harm Yao and Xing. Yes, Su Yang nodded gently. He wasn't worried about that, but was simply curious about the reason. This was a good thing now. The spiritual energy revival was about to begin, and Zhang Bei was about to be in turmoil and chaos. Yao and Xing, the two little ones, could accompany Xiao to the Xi family's ancestral land, giving Su Yang one less thing to worry about. Thank you, Master Guo, for not killing them. By then, Guo Yi had finished his business. He didn't exterminate all the Xiao family members, only executing a few who had attempted to kill his friend. As for the others, Guo Yi didn't pursue the matter. It's too early to thank you. Xiao family, there's still one person who must die. Holding a feather fan, Guo Yi said calmly, your fourth daughter of the Xiao family, I hope to hear the news of her death today. Otherwise, I will personally destroy the Xiao family. By then, it won't just be a matter of one person dying. Please rest assured, Master Guo, I will give you a satisfactory explanation, a small leader of the Xiao family said respectfully. Yes, Guo Yi nodded and turned back to Su Yang. His eyes full of respect. Guo Yi, why don't you destroy them? Su Yang asked with a smile. My lord, Earth will soon enter its golden age. At that time, these people will be a force to resist the outside world. I cannot weaken Earth's strength because of personal vendettas, Guo Yi replied truthfully. Well, not bad, you have a good vision, Su Yang nodded in praise, then glanced at the Xiao family and said in a deep voice, Xiao family, I'll remember this. If you dare to serve the outside world again and take pride in it, I will not hesitate to take action, not only the Xiao family, but you too. The Dongfang family is a lesson for you. I hope you will be careful, Su Yang said coldly. These people were terrified and agreed one after another, full of fear of Su Yang. Xianfeng Liang, after intimidating him for a while, Su Yang's gaze fell on Zifeng Liang and he said, you have dealt with these people from the ancient clans. From now on, it will be your turn to control them. Zifeng Liang said with a wry smile, Alliance Master Su, you are making things difficult for me. Right now, I have only caused the golden core to shatter once. It was a first-level fake core. There are many people stronger than me among the 10 ancient clans, Zifeng Liang continued. Take the Xiao family for example. Their ancestor, Xiao Wu, was a 9th-level fake core. His strength far exceeds mine. How could he obey my orders? Also, you killed all the people from the Dongfang family who came to Jilfang Mountain this time. However, there are stronger people in the Dongfang family. Dongfang Yao is already a 3rd-level fake core. His father, Dongfang Bulian, is even more powerful. Zifeng Liang smiled bitterly. I am insignificant and my words carry no weight. How can I be worthy of commanding the 10 ancient clans? No problem, Su Yang smiled. Then, on a whim, pulled a golden scale from his stored ring. He handed it to Zifan Liang and said, "Take this. It will help you resist bad luck. With it, you can ignore bad luck and directly enter the Jianden realm. With your years of accumulation, I'm sure you'll easily advance to the middle or even late Jianden stage." Su Yang's lips curled up as he said, "By then, who would dare to disobey your orders?" The golden scale was taken from Qi Feng. The Zai family had been indebted to Su Yang, and Zifan Liang had helped him in Wuding Mountain. Therefore, Su Yang gave Zifan Liang the golden scale today and appointed him to the home of the 10 ancient clans, as a way of repaying a favor. "Thank you, Alliance leader Su." Zifan Liang was overwhelmed with emotion upon hearing this. He slowly took the golden scale and looked at Su Yang with eyes filled with gratitude and awe. "Well, you're welcome," Su Yang smiled, then glanced at the numerous cultivators present. He said calmly, "Don't be envious. I have good news for you. Spiritual energy is about to revive. Before long, there will be no more ominous signs on Earth, and spiritual energy will become incredibly abundant. Each of you will have the opportunity to ascend to higher realms. Wait and see, Grandpa Jin. Find me a quiet room. I need to refine elixirs to heal Senior Wu," Su Yang concluded. "Okay, Su Yang, this way." "Yes," Su Yang nodded, then followed Qianian She into Jilfang Mountain. Nang Guangyu and Guo Yi followed closely behind. After Su Yang and his group left, the scene erupted in a flurry of activity. Chapter 721 Fengxi Killing. Spiritual energy is reviving. Haha, I've heard some news before, and now that Alliance leader Su mentions it again, it seems to be true. Great. With a revival of spiritual energy, the ominous signs will dissipate. Earth will surely enter a golden age, and we'll all have the chance to live longer. Now that Earth's spiritual energy can be revived, who would want to hang out with outsiders? The revival of spiritual energy will not only benefit us, but also our descendants. It will benefit generations to come, and will last for generations to come. Excellent, excellent. Even if it costs me my life, I will see the spiritual energy revive. Alliance leader Su has initiated a revolution in ancient martial arts. He's the chosen one. The spiritual energy revival will definitely succeed. At this moment, 100 miles away, young Master Fengxi, after detonating his purple gold hammer, employed forbidden secret techniques, burning his essence in blood. He had already fled 100 miles away. Puff. At this moment, he couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood and stopped by a stream, his face extremely pale. It should be no problem to escape here. Su Yang will probably not chase us. Young Master Fengxi wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, his breath weak. Recalling what happened just now, he gritted his teeth and said, "Damn Su Yang, I underestimated him. I thought he was just a waste who had just entered the nascent soul realm, so even if I found him watching from the sidelines, I didn't take him seriously, but I never expected that he actually possessed such powerful strength, and could even kill those at the peak of the nascent soul." Young Master Fengxi said angrily, "This bastard, it's okay if he has decent strength, but he actually sits on the mountain and watches the tigers fight. Despicable. If it weren't for the fact that we consumed so much energy, anyone would have the ability to kill him alone. Damn it." Young Master Fengxi became more and more angry as he spoke, with rage in his eyes, and he wanted to tear Su Yang to pieces. Now, killing is crippled, Chihongaiwu has been captured, and after I escape, Chifan will probably find it difficult to escape Su Yang's clutches. I'm also seriously injured. Young Master Fengxi murmured to himself, the injury is not a big deal. There's a life-saving elixir in my stored ring that can quickly recover. But without the purple gold hammer, my strength has been greatly reduced. I have completely lost the qualifications to compete with other masters from outside the domain. All this is caused by Su Yang. You bastard, don't let me get a chance, otherwise I will make you live a life worse than death. Young Master Fengxi was furious. After his emotions recovered, he took out the spirit stone and smiled rarely. Although I don't have the purple gold hammer, I have obtained the spirit stone, which is a little comfort. The spirit stone can communicate with the flame dragon Immortal Emperor. I can use it to contact the flame dragon Immortal Emperor. Young Master Fengxi smiled playfully. Now, I can't compete with others. The best choice is to follow the flame dragon Immortal Emperor wholeheartedly. I can inform the flame dragon Immortal Emperor of what's happening on Earth and pledge my loyalty to him. With this thought in mind, young Master Fengxi studied the spiritual stone and said, "It's truly a treasure capable of communicating with the outer realms. Using it requires a vast amount of spiritual energy. In that case, I'll take the life-saving elixir and recover from my injuries. With this thought, young Master Fengxi put the spiritual stone into his storage ring and took out a pill. He chuckled softly, I'll be fully recovered in 3 to 5 days. By then, I'll be able to catch up with this spiritual energy recovery. Ming Jiu and the other two, using the location given by the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor, went looking for the Blood Demon. I don't know how they're doing now. When they return, we'll go to Jiangbei together, young Master Fengxi sneered. Su Yang, by then, you'll be dead. I won't let you reap the benefits. I'll join forces with Ming Jiu and the other two to eliminate you. Having made up his mind, young Master Fengxi swallowed the pill in one gulp and entered a state of cultivation. Meanwhile, Qilin also escaped. He found a dark, damp cave, where half his body lay, emitting dragon roars. Fengxi, Chihongao, you two, wait for me. When I am severed and reborn, I will grind you both to dust. Qilin couldn't help but let out a scream, his eyes blazing with fury. As a dragon, Qilin boasted a formidable physique, a virtue he had always prided himself on. But now, half of his body had been severed, forcing him to flee in disgrace. This infuriated Qilin. Humiliation. A profound humiliation. This revenge must be repaid with interest. To seek revenge, he must reshape his dragon body. Fortunately, Qilin held a prominent position within the dragon clan, serving as the young master, possessing countless resources. Qilin's lowering of status to become the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's servants was entirely coercive. A true emperor-level powerhouse hadn't appeared in the dragon clan for a long time. Hundreds of years ago, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor arrived at the dragon clan with a haughty air, offering to take Qilin and make him his slave. His motive was revenge. Back then, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor was merely a commoner among the dragon clan, suffering humiliation and being driven from the clan. Therefore, once he gained power, he specifically visited the dragon clan and specifically asked for Qilin, the young clan leader, to be his slave, humiliating the clan. Naturally, the entire dragon clan disagreed, but the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor was too powerful for the dragon clan to resist. Forced to do so, and to protect the dragon clan, Qilin agreed. This incident alarmed the entire Star region, and everyone knew that the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor had taken the young clan leader as his slave, bringing shame upon the dragon clan. However, without power, one is at the mercy of others. This is the eternal law of the world of cultivation. Until now, Qilin had endured humiliation and endured great hardship, never daring to show the slightest hostility before the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor. He even had to be extremely respectful and courteous. Now that he had finally arrived on Earth, freed from the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's control, he naturally wouldn't miss this opportunity. Although half his body was gone, Qilin, once the young master of the dragon clan, held a high position. Within his storage ring lay the corpse of a powerful dragon. This elder had once been the dragon clan's most outstanding prodigy, but the dragon clan's fortune had been shattered, and throughout his life, he only reached the peak of quasi-emperor, unable to advance further. After his death, his body was preserved, and Qilin kept it in his storage ring. Once, Qilin toyed with the idea of using his soul to possess the elder's body, hoping to quickly reach the quasi-emperor realm and become invincible. However, this approach had its pros and cons. If Qilin took over the body of the dragon clan's great dream, his lifetime achievements would be limited to quasi-emperor, and he would never be able to reach the true emperor realm. Moreover, the success rate of mastering the realm wasn't high, only about 30%. If he failed, his soul would be shattered. So, after weighing the pros and cons, Qilin didn't do it. But now, Qilin had no choice. Fengxi, Chihongao, you're forcing me to do this. When I'm reborn through a body, I'll reach the quasi-emperor realm and completely disregard ominous signs. Qilin sneered. The quasi-emperor realm may not be a big deal outside the domain, but this is Earth. I will become the most powerful person in the world. Even if the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor arrives, his realm will be reduced to quasi-emperor. Who can do anything to me? Earth will eventually be ruled by me. I will be the king of Earth and dominate this azure star field. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 722 My godfather is better at pretending than I am. Meanwhile, In the deserted wilderness, Wang Fuge and Sumo were hiking. Wang Fuge's 2 arms were now normal, and he looked much better than before. Although Sumo didn't agree verbally, he still found a suitable opportunity to give his arms to Wang Fuge. After all, he had already decided to lose 1 arm, so it didn't matter which one he lost. Instead of doing that, it would be better to help Wang Fuge and make him a healthy person. This also shows that Wang Fuge has slowly entered Sumo's heart. Sumo has unknowingly regarded Wang Fuge as a close person. This is not surprising. Sumo has been alone for so many years, and Wang Fuge's constant call of Godfather has brought a little comfort to Sumo's loneliness, and their relationship has naturally become infinitely closer. Of course, replacing arms is something that most people cannot do, even for a quasi-emperor. But Sumo's forged imperial weapon is his own flesh and blood, so his control over his body is extraordinary, and he can still do it. At this moment, the 2 of them walked one after the other, deliberately avoiding the city and walking in the sparsely populated mountains. Although Wang Fuge had already reached the nascent soul stage and did not feel tired or hot, he could have used it, even taken public transportation, but Sumo refused to agree and insisted that he walk step by step. This made Wang Fuge incomprehensible and deeply boring. Godfather, finally, Wang Fuge couldn't help himself and said, "It's still a long way from here to Jiangbei. If we keep walking like this, how long will it take us? If you don't want to waste your spiritual energy, why don't I get a car? Even if I buy high-speed rail tickets or train tickets, it's faster than walking," Wang Fuge suggested. "Godfather, how about you wait here and I'll make the arrangements?" "No," Sumo continued walking, saying calmly, "You're advancing too quickly. You need to cultivate your character, don't worry. According to my calculations, it will take about 3 days for the spiritual energy to recover. At our current rate, working day and night, we can catch up. Godfather, my character is good. I don't need to cultivate anymore. Please don't bother me," Wang Fuge pleaded. Snap! Unexpectedly, as Wang Fuge finished his words, Sumo raised his hand and slapped him directly on the forehead. "Fuck. Who hit me?" Wang Fuge instantly covered his head and cursed. Then, feeling Sumo's sharp gaze, Wang Fuge suddenly shut up. "You're so good-natured," Sumo glanced at Wang Fuge and said calmly, "Boy, you need more training." "Hey, Godfather, it's just a reflex. I actually have a really good character. If you don't believe me, try hitting me again," Wang Fuge said seriously. "I promise I can hold back and not curse." "Okay," Sumo nodded at this. Spiritual energy condensed in his palm, quickly emanating a terrifying aura that swept across the entire room, squeezing the air around him and making it hum. Then, Sumo raised his palm and slowly fixed his gaze on Wang Fuge. His expression was solemn, as if he wasn't joking. Wang Fuge shuddered at this. If that slap landed, he would be half dead, if not dead. So he hurriedly said with a smile, "Well, Godfather, I think you're right. My character isn't good enough, and I need more training. I was mainly worried you'd find it boring, so I suggested taking a car. Since you want to train me, let's keep going. Thank you for your kind intentions. Godfather, you're so kind to me, even better than my own father." Finally, Wang Fuge didn't forget to flatter Sumo. Sumo smiled, then dispersed the spiritual energy in his palm and continued walking. As for Wang Fuge, he followed closely behind. Although he was upset, he didn't dare to bring it up again for fear of being slapped. "It's finally here." After about 10 minutes of conversation, Sumo suddenly stopped, a playful smile on his face. He had chosen to walk through the desolate mountains. Besides training Wang Fuge, there was another main reason: it would make it easier to deal with those from outside the realm. Sumo had known for a while that the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor had sent 10 masters to Earth. Of course, he also knew that his rebirth would alert the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor, even allowing him to locate him. The Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's presence on Earth was undoubtedly a pretext for a countermeasure against him. In the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's eyes, Sumo had only just been reborn 6 months ago, so his strength wouldn't have recovered much, at most reaching the nascent soul stage. Normally, Su Yang would only reach the nascent soul stage in 6 months. However, over 100 years ago, the Xuantian Immortal Emperor had left a backup plan for him on the glacier, allowing Sumo to quickly return to the quasi-emperor realm and possess extraordinary skills. This was something the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor could never have imagined. Sumo anticipated the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's plan to attack him, but he remained calm. After emerging from seclusion, he concealed his strength with Wang Fuge, traversing the mountains and rivers, awaiting their arrival. At that moment, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's men finally arrived. However, the three men didn't immediately attack, remaining hidden, seemingly wary of something. Ming Jiu, shall we attack? I've seen through the Blood Demon's realm. Just as the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor predicted, he's only at the nascent soul stage, and in its early stages. Nothing to fear, a blue-robed man spoke from the shadows. Wait and see. After all, the Blood Demon was once a quasi-emperor. Even the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor suffered at his hands when he visited Earth. We must be vigilant, a woman in a gray-white battle robe whispered, sizing Sumo up. You said that was in the past. Now he only has the body of a quasi-emperor, but his realm is low. He's definitely no match for us, another person said, also urging Ming Jiu to take action. An emperor-level powerhouse should not be underestimated. If we're not careful, we could very well die here. Ming Jiu shook his head. HMPH, that's just a woman's opinion, Ming Jiu. Women are still women, lacking courage, the blue-robed man said disdainfully. If you don't want to come forward, just wait here while we two take action, but if that's the case, the Blood Demon's Imperial weapons body will have nothing to do with you. That's right, another man added, we'll split his body equally between us, but don't worry, we won't let your trip go in vain. If he has anything else on him, we'll give you some as appropriate. I'm not thinking about how to divide it. Calm down, both of you. Don't. Mingju was about to speak, but the blue-robed man and another man had already rushed out, blocking Sumo and Wang Fuge's way. That's your choice. I'll just wait and see. Seeing this, Mingju narrowed his eyes, his lips curled slightly, and said, but I'm afraid neither of you has the right to touch the Blood Demon's Imperial weapons body. It's mine. At this moment, Wang Fuge stopped, startled by the sudden appearance of the two men. Fuck, who the hell are you two? You didn't even tell me you were coming out. You scared me to death. With his godfather by his side, Wang Fuge was extremely arrogant, saying, get out of my way now, or I'll beat the shit out of you. HMPH, Earth natives, you're so arrogant. How dare you be so rude to us, the blue-robed man said with a sullen expression. Oh, so what if you're rude? If you were women, I'd fucking molest you. Wang Fuge had been hiking for a long time, and he was filled with anger. He was already unhappy, and now he was even more annoyed. He muttered, get out of here. Stop making trouble, haha. Another outsider master couldn't help but laugh. Earth natives, are you always this brave? So what? Wang Fuge raised an eyebrow, took a step forward, and said disdainfully, let's fight. HMPH, our original target was the Blood Demon. Since you don't know what's good for you, let's start with you, the blue-robed man said with a stern look. Blood Demon, Wang Fuge glanced at Sumo, bewildered. Godfather, who are they, and how do they know your former name? They're from beyond the realm, and they're here to kill me, Sumo replied flatly. Fuck. Upon hearing this, Wang Fuge hurriedly pledged his loyalty, his face filled with rage. Damn it, you're so tired of living. How dare you set your sights on my godfather? Godfather, don't be afraid. Leave it to me. Today, your godson will unleash his might and sweep away your enemies. With this, Wang Fuge spoke with a fierce aura, mobilizing his spiritual energy, intending to put on a show for his godfather. Buzz. But at that moment, two masters from beyond a realm simultaneously unleashed a powerful aura that swept across the area. The terrifying force sent dust flying and the gravel trembling. Gurgle. Sensing the strength of the two opponents, Wang Fuge instantly lost his nerve. He swallowed uncontrollably and trotted off, hiding behind Sumo. Godfather, what realm are these two guys at? They seem very powerful, Wang Fuge whispered. Peak nascent soul, Sumo said calmly, either of them could blow you up with a single blow. Peak nascent soul, Wang Fuge shuddered with fear, his face pale. He then smiled ingratiatingly, hey, Godfather, this opportunity to show up is yours. I won't steal your limelight, don't worry, I'm here, you won't die. Go ahead, Sumo said with a playful smile, today I'll show you that showing off comes at a price. No, Wang Fuge said with a mournful face, Godfather, I'll never show off again. Just kill them. I'll be cheering you on. Sumo, however, smiled faintly. Without giving Wang Fuge a chance to think, he grabbed Wang Fuge by the clothes and threw him out. Shit, Wang Quan's sword. Wang Fuge's scalp tingled with fear, But now that things had come to this, he had no choice but to bite the bullet. Clang! With a resounding shout, the sword of royal power materialized, grasped in his hand. Holding the sword of royal power, Wang Fuge seemed a transformed person. He held the sword in one hand, the other behind his back erect, his demeanor transcendent, like a sword immortal. At that moment, Wang Fuge thought, Godfather was right. With Godfather around, he wouldn't die. What's there to be afraid of? Just get on with it. You two bastards, did you really think I was afraid of you? Wang Fuge's expression hardened, a sharp gleam in his eyes. Especially around him, a chilling sword aura emanated, crushing all around him, his brilliance unmistakable, like a true sword immortal. This scene startled the two present. They exchanged glances, neither of them making the first move. I have a sword that can split mountains, sever rivers, cleave the heavens, and sweep across eternity. You, die? Wang Fuge's aura was masterfully executed, his whole person imposing. As he raised the king's sword in his hand, a powerful sword intent instantly erupted, crushing the blue-robed man and the outlander. Bang! The blue-robed man, genuinely frightened, exchanged glances, but still managed a palm strike in defiance. With a muffled thud, Wang Fuge's sword intent was easily dispelled by the blue-robed man. Even Wang Fuge took several steps back, his blood boiling, and a pool of blood gushed out of his mouth. Damn, defeated so quickly? I'm a Taily sword body, damn it. Wang Fuge wiped the blood from his mouth and couldn't help but complain. However, this was to be expected. Wang Fuge had only just reached the nascent soul stage, and the energy from Sumo's arm had already been used to boost his strength, leaving him without the explosive power he once possessed. Of course, he could still fight against opponents of higher levels. After all, he had the Taily sword body, so even against a late-stage nascent soul cultivator, he could still hold his own. Even an ordinary peak-stage nascent soul cultivator would be a match for Wang Fuge. But the blue-robed man was no ordinary being. He was already at the spiritualization realm. Though suppressed upon his arrival on Earth, his previous insights remained, far surpassing those of a peak nascent soul cultivator. Furthermore, with that previous palm strike, the blue-robed man hadn't let his guard down. Having been intimidated by Wang Fuge, he had launched his attack with all his might. Consequently, Wang Fuge was defeated. That's it. Seeing Wang Fuge spitting blood from his blow, the blue-robed man breathed a sigh of relief and sneered, I thought the blood demon had found a powerful ally. I was undecided before, but now it seems you're just a facade. Earth native, your swordsmanship is impressive, and the longsword you wield is a powerful treasure. Unfortunately, your realm is too low, and you lack mastery of your power. A murderous glint flashed in the blue-robed man's eyes. I'll spare you my time. Prepare to die. With those words, he suddenly launched his attack, his spiritual energy surging through him as he charged directly at Wang Fuge. Wang Fuge dodged in a hurry, but after a few rounds, he was still caught up by the man in blue robe, and was beaten up. The outsider next to him also joined in, and the two of them crushed Wang Fuge mercilessly. Although Wang Fuge was weak, he was not really powerless to fight back. He retreated while being beaten, so he was not wiped out. In this way, the three of them started fighting. To be precise, it was two people who beat Wang Fuge. It didn't take long before Wang Fuge had a bruised face and wounds all over his body. I'm afraid of you. Don't bother me all the time. Go beat my godfather. He can take a beating better than me, and your target is him. Go beat him. Wang Fuge wiped the blood from his nose and shifted the blame. Haha, the blue-robed man sneered, who told you to act so pretentious just now? Now I just want to kill you first, then the blood demon. I can't do that. My pretense is nothing. My godfather is the best at it, I learned it all from him. Wang Fuge hurriedly said, my godfather just sent me a message. He said that if he peed, he could stuff you two to death. Listen, is that human talk? Too arrogant. Even if I wasn't deliberately fanning the flames, I couldn't stand it. If it were me, I would tear his mouth apart. Swish. Hearing Wang Fuge's words, the two outsiders turned their gazes to Sumo, their eyes filled with anger. Chapter 723, Training. Blood Demon, did you really say that? At this moment, the blue-robed man said coldly. Sumo did not explain, but just looked at Wang Fuge with a dark face. Damn it. This little thing actually made up a story out of nothing and wrongly accused me. It's so fucking infuriating. But then, Sumo showed a faint smile. Of course, he would not be really angry with Wang Fuge. Instead, he found it quite interesting. Sumo has always been alone and has lived a dull life for too long. Now that he has her lively godson, his life has become much more interesting. Of course, my godfather also said that you two bastards are not even qualified to stand in front of him. Wang Fuge continued to make Sumo hate him. HMPH, the blue-robed man's face was as gloomy as water, and he said sternly, Blood Demon, I admit that you were very powerful before, but now, you have just been reborn for half a year, and you are only in the early stage of nascent soul. Even if you have the body of an emperor, you can't be a match for the two of us. How dare you look down on us like this? Why waste time talking to him? Just kill him quickly, and divide up the body of the emperor. Another out-of-domain master sneered, and then said, I like the bottom part more. The upper half is for you, and the lower half is for me. How about it? No, do you think I'm blind? He's missing an arm, and I'll be at a disadvantage, the blue-robed man said. If we have to divide it, I want the lower half and you want the upper half. You know, I'm good at using leg techniques, and the lower half means a lot to me, said the out-of-domain master. Fuck, you two are perverts. Wang Fuge, his face filled with disgust, said, my godfather is already old. How can his bottom be that good? Why are you fighting over it? Besides, if you were women, it would be fine, but two grown men insisting on grabbing my godfather's bottom, what on earth do you want? Wang Fuge said with disdain. HMPH, you're so sharp-tongued, you're courting death, the blue-robed man, upon hearing this, naturally understood Wang Fuge's intentions. He flew into rage and charged at him. Wang Fuge hurriedly fought back, but was surprised to find that his injuries had almost healed in the short time they had been chatting and joking. Damn, godfather, what's going on? How did my injuries heal so quickly? Wang Fuge asked curiously as he tangled with the blue-robed man. You've fused with my arm. Before you reach quasi-emperor status, no matter how severe your injuries, you'll recover quickly, Sumo explained. However, once you reach quasi-emperor status, this effect disappears. Fuck, that's awesome. Upon learning the truth, Wang Fuge was instantly energized, excitedly fighting the blue-robed man. This is fucking invincible. I can't die, and I can recover quickly. It's like a perpetual motion machine. Godfather, just rest up there. Keep an eye out for any fatal injuries. I'll slowly wear them down and hone myself along the way. Wang Fuge voiced his thoughts through his soul. To become a truly powerful warrior, combat was essential, and this opportunity could be used to enhance one's own combat prowess. Yes, Sumo nodded. He shared the same sentiment, which was why he didn't initially take action to eliminate the two outsiders himself. I'll help you. Seeing the blue-robed man's prolonged attack failing, another outsider rejoined the fray. Just like that, Wang Fuge was once again surrounded and beaten, his face bruised and battered. But he was like a perpetual motion machine, recovering from injury, and becoming more and more exhilarated with each attack. Seeing this, the blue-robed man took matters into his own hands, mobilizing all his strength, intending to strike a single blow. At that moment, Sumo intervened, averting Wang Fuge's danger. What? He easily deflected my fatal blow. This blood demon isn't even in the early nascent soul stage anymore. Oh no. He's hiding his true strength. I'm afraid his true power far surpasses ours. Run. The two outsider warriors reacted and immediately considered retreating. Unfortunately, Sumo simply raised his hand, creating a spiritual energy cage that the two men couldn't break, no matter how hard they attacked. Their faces paled in fear. Hey, you two stepping stones, why are you running? Come on, play with me. Wang Fuge approached, the king's sword in hand. The two outsider masters had no desire to fight him, but he persisted, like a dog skin plaster. With no other options, the two could only think of a way out while beating Wang Fuge. They also realized that they were completely controlled by the blood demon, unable to escape its grasp. They were now merely Wang Fuge's sparring partners. Damn it. If I had known this would happen, I wouldn't have competed with Master Fengxi and the others for the chance to kill the blood demon. Damn it. They probably already guessed the blood demon's current condition and gave us the chance. As they tormented Wang Fuge, their faces grimly plotted, searching for a chance to escape. So cool, ha ha ha. Wang Fuge was a bit of a pervert. Blackened and swollen, covered in blood, he acted like nothing had happened, charging recklessly at the two out-of-region masters. In the dark, Ming Jiayu, observing this, secretly congratulated himself for not intervening. Otherwise the consequences would have been disastrous. You're too eager for quick success. I can't save you. I'm leaving now, Ming Jiayu muttered, and was about to leave. Don't go anywhere, stay here. At this time, Sumo spoke in a calm tone. With his realm, he should have discovered Ming Jiayu a long time ago, but he didn't point it out at the beginning. Seeing that Ming Jiayu wanted to leave, Sumo directly took action and grabbed Ming Jiayu's neck from the air. Ming Jiayu's strength was not much weaker than that of Master Fengxi, but in front of Sumo, she had no power to fight back. Sumo grabbed her neck from the air, restrained her in front of him, and threw her to the ground. Senior Blood Demon, spare me. Ming Jiayu was panicked, her beautiful face turned pale with fear. She hurriedly knelt on the ground and begged bitterly, I am willing to follow you, be your slave, and even serve you in bed. Please have mercy on me and don't kill me. Are you a subordinate of the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor? Sumo said in a calm tone. Yes, Ming Jiayu nodded, then shook his head and said sincerely, I am your servant now. You can do anything to me. No need. The Immortal Emperor Yanlong killed my entire family. Anyone who served him will die if I encounter them. Sumo sneered, then waved his hand. A terrifying force surged out, instantly shattering Ming Jiayu's soul. The beautiful woman vanished, her breath gone. The other two outsider masters were terrified, their faces pale. You two, have fun with my godson. And maybe you can live a little longer. Otherwise, I will send you to death now, Sumo said calmly, his face impassive. With these words, the two outsider masters naturally dared not neglect their duties and devotedly served as Wang Fuga's sparring partners. The three fought from day to night, the scene filled with dust. Finally, the two outsider masters could no longer withstand the pressure, their spiritual energy exhausted, and they collapsed to the ground. Chapter 724 Quadruplets. Bah, two losers. It's only been a short time since we've fought, and your legs are already giving out. You can't hold on any longer. Wang Fuge, covered in wounds and in poor condition, was now arrogantly complaining. Boy, have you ever killed anyone? Sumo suddenly asked. Wang Fuge, slightly embarrassed, scratched his head and said, no, as my blood demon's godson, you haven't even killed anyone before. You're useless. Kill them both, Sumo said. That, good. Wang Fuge hesitated for a moment, then nodded and strode towards the two Outlander masters. Although their energy was exhausted, they still had the strength to resist. However, Sumo didn't want to waste any more time and used his might to suppress them, making it easier for Wang Fuge to strike. Puff. Puff. Wang Fuge raised the king's sword high and struck down, decapitating the two Outlander masters. Blood spurted out, staining Wang Fuge's clothes red. Despite killing someone for the first time, Wang Fuge didn't feel uncomfortable at all. Instead, he felt a bit excited, finding the feeling quite thrilling, his expression somewhat frantic. Ever since his last trip to Kyoto, Wang Fuge had witnessed countless murders and was accustomed to them. So, for his first kill, he was mentally prepared. Haha, not bad. This is my blood demon's godson, boy. From now on, your godfather will help you kill more people, Sumo said with admiration. At this moment, Wang Fuge put away the Wukwen sword, walked to Sumo, took a look at Ming Jiayu's body on the ground, and complained, Tisk, godfather, aren't you known as the blood demon? How can you kill someone and leave the body intact? This is not your style, haha, I have a habit. I don't like to destroy beautiful things, Sumo continued, this woman is a subordinate of the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor. I must kill her, but her facial features are beautiful. It is my principle to leave her body intact. Oh, I see, Wang Fuge laughed. I didn't expect the godfather is still particular about people. If the opponent is a handsome guy like me, will you leave the body intact? Male, Sumo sneered, sorry, I don't appreciate the same sex. No matter how handsome a man is, it's useless to me. If the opponent looks like this, I will leave no bones left. Hearing the godfather's cold laughter, Wang Fuge couldn't help but shuddered. Godfather, why are you scaring me? I am your godson. Wang Fuge showed a flattering smile, then he looked at Ming Jiayu's beautiful corpse and said with a smile, Godfather, it would be a pity not to enjoy such a beautiful woman. Otherwise, you, enjoy her while she is hot, get lost. Sumo glanced at Wang Fuge and said coldly, it's already cold, why bother enjoying her while she is hot? Is that so, Godfather? It's okay. There are so many dry firewood here, I'll make a fire and heat you up, Wang Fuga said with a flattering smile. Fuck, you're such a pervert, ha ha ha. I like you, you're fully qualified to inherit my blood demon's mantle. Sumo smiled with satisfaction, then said, but I don't have any special fetishes, and I'm not interested in corpses. That's easy, Godfather. After leaving this mountain, it's another 20 or 30 miles to the city. Wang Fuga chuckled, I'm very familiar with all the major clubs. I'll take you there and find some technicians for you to relax, after spending so much time with Sumo. Wang Fuga had completely forgotten about this matter. If you want to please a man, take him to a club. No man can refuse a club. If there's, it's definitely because the club is too formal. Club. After Sumo was resurrected, he also came into contact with modern cities, so he naturally knew what a club was. He immediately said with a dark face, boy, who do you think blood demon, am I? How could I go to a filthy place like a club? Don't mention this kind of thing in front of me in the future, otherwise don't blame me for turning my face against you. Sumo stared at Wang Fuga and said in a deep voice, also, don't think I don't know. You wanted to be lazy and deliberately offered to take me to the club to delay time. In the end, I had to take public transportation to Jiangbei. You'd better put away your little tricks. You can fool others, but you can't fool me. I, your godfather, have walked more roads than you have eaten salt. I have walked more roads than I have eaten salt. Why does this sound a bit wrong? Wang Fuga muttered softly, and then didn't care much. Instead, he said disappointedly, well, since Godfather doesn't want to, then forget it. Hey, I'm thinking of getting a pair of twins and letting them wear ancient costumes to communicate with you in depth. Twins. Upon hearing this, Sumo's eyes lit up, and he couldn't help but waver in his heart, but then he said sternly, HMPH, your godfather, I've seen everything. How could a mere pair of twins possibly shake my resolve to save the earth? The revival of spiritual energy is crucial. This trip to Jiangbei concerns the future of countless cultivators on earth. How can we be careless? Sumo said seriously. I understand. Wang Fuga's words filled Wang Fuga with passion, and he said admiringly, Godfather, your dedication to protecting the earth is truly a role model for my generation. No, we're not of the same generation, but he's my idol and my role model. Twins, quadruplets? When it comes to saving the earth, they mean nothing, Wang Fuga said seriously. We'll head to Jiangbei now. I'll take each step one by one, honing myself so that I can contribute to the revival of spiritual energy. Wait a minute, what did you say? 4 quadruplets? Sumo's eyes widened. Well, when I was playing with my phone a few days ago, I saw information on an app about quadruplet sisters. Where are they? It's quite far away, but air travel is very convenient now. We can drop them off and send them to the designated hotel in a few hours. Wang Fuga asked in confusion. Godfather, why are you asking this? Fuga, I think you must be tired after walking for so long. Why don't we go to the city ahead and find a hotel to rest? Sumo suddenly smiled. That's not good. We still have to go to Jiangbei, save the earth, and help the spiritual energy revive. It's okay, we'll rest for a few days, and then we can take a plane or use spiritual energy, and we won't be late. Sumo smiled, then asked with a shameless face, the quadruplets you just mentioned, are they true? Haha, Godfather, it turns out you are an old pervert. Wang Fuga understood instantly and said with a smile, of course it's true, I'll contact them for you and let them serve you. What do you mean by serving, kid? You underestimate your godfather, Sumo said seriously. I just heard that the quadruplets did this kind of thing, and I felt it was a pity. I wanted to talk to them and let them be upright and do their job properly. Don't get me wrong, yes, Godfather, I understand. Wang Fuga nodded, and then asked, Godfather, what clothes do you want them to wear? Ancient costumes or cheongsams, or other more interesting clothes? A sailor suit, or a bunny girl outfit is fine too. I've noticed modern cities and I think the new clothing styles are pretty good, Sumo said calmly. Chapter 725, Dialogue with the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor. Sailor suit? Bunny girl? Holy crap. What a pervert. He looks so serious on the outside, but he's actually thinking so much. Godfather, Wang Fuga, realizing what was happening, couldn't help but ask with concern, quadruplets, you're already old. Can you handle this? Can you handle it? Girls these days are incredible. They're so powerful, moving up and down, left and right. It would be so embarrassing if you lost, Wang Fuga warned. Shut up. Upon hearing this, Sumo straightened his back and said with a look of pride, "The problem you're worried about is not a problem for me at all. I have traveled all my life, roamed the 9 heavens and 10 earths, and seen countless women. How could I be at a disadvantage?" Sumo said seriously, "What can a mere quadruplets do to me? I'm not bragging, but I will definitely make them obedient and dare not act rashly." "Godfather, you're awesome." Wang Fuga sighed inwardly and subconsciously curled his lips, not believing it at all. But on the surface, he didn't dare to mock Sumo for fear of being beaten. "Godfather, I'll call and arrange it right away." "Okay," Sumo nodded, and then, feeling a little guilty, he whispered, "Wait a minute, just in case, don't reveal my name when we get there. We can just disguise ourselves as ordinary people. That way, even if we lose, we won't be embarrassed." After saying this, Sumo was slightly embarrassed, his old face flushed, and he strode ahead. Wang Fuga was bewildered. "Godfather, where did all that heroic spirit you just had? How shameful." Meanwhile, in a secluded spot beside a flowing stream, young Master Fengxi, having swallowed a life-saving elixir, temporarily recovered from his injuries. He was eager to use the spiritual stone to contact the flame dragon Immortal Emperor. This spiritual stone, when Qi Hongyu had thrown it to him, had apparently been snatched away by Su Yang. However, young Master Fengxi had been keeping an eye on Su Yang. When he sensed Su Yang's move, he took a risk and swiftly replaced the spiritual stone. The one Su Yang had taken and stored in his storage ring was merely a counterfeit he had forged. The real spiritual stone had already been stored by young Master Fengxi. As for Su Yang, preoccupied with fending off young Master Fengxi and Qi Hongyu, he hadn't carefully examined the spiritual stone, and thus, unsure of its authenticity, had hastily stored it in his stored ring. Now, through a series of maneuvers, young Master Fengxi had finally activated the spiritual stone and successfully contacted the flame dragon Immortal Emperor. Now, the spiritual stone hovered in midair, emitting a faint glow and condensing into a projection. Within the projection, nothingness could be seen. Fengxi." Just then, a deep voice echoed from the projection, and the upper body of the flame dragon Immortal Emperor materialized. Dressed in a golden robe, he sat cross-legged, his presence imbued with a sense of authority. Frowning, he demanded, "Why are you here? Didn't I give the spiritual stone to Hongyu? How did it end up in your possession?" "Greetings, Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor." Upon seeing the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor, young Master Fengxi's expression was filled with respect. He hurriedly knelt on one knee and saluted. The Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor nodded, then coldly urged, "Answer my question. Why is the spiritual stone in your possession? Where is Hongyu? Did you steal it from her?" At the end of his words, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's eyes shone with overwhelming fury, gazing fiercely at young Master Fengxi. Reporting to the Immortal Emperor Yanlong, the spiritual communication stone was not seized by me, but was given to me by Miss Hongyu. Young Master Fengxi naturally sensed the Immortal Emperor Yanlong's anger and hurriedly explained, "Didn't you order us to wipe out Earth's ancient martial arts world and control all those ancient martial artists?" After arriving on Earth, I set about doing just that. I razed all the famous mountains and captured countless ancient martial artists alive. Any ancient martial artist of some note was imprisoned by my subordinates in the Shangguan family in Changbei Mountain. Young Master Fengxi continued, "However, there is a Jilfang Mountain on Earth. Within Jilfang Mountain, there lives an old woman named Wu Kengying, hailed as the foremost figure in the ancient martial arts world. I have already destroyed all the other famous mountains, leaving only Jilfang Mountain lingering. Many ancient martial artists have gathered outside Jilfang Mountain, seeking the protection of Wu Kengying on Jilfang Mountain, as if they regard her as the last hope of the ancient martial arts world." Young Master Fengxi continued, "During this visit to Earth, you modified the purple gold hammer for me. I am absolutely certain I can crush Wu Kengying, but Wu Kengying is the last hope of the ancient martial arts world, so I didn't act rashly. Instead, I challenged her, making the matter a hot topic, ideally known to the entire world. Then, before all the ancient martial artists in the world, I will annihilate her, shattering the last hope of Earth's ancient martial artists and forcing them to completely submit to our outer realm." Young Master Fengxi stated his intention to publicly challenge Wu Kengying. Not bad." Upon hearing this, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor nodded in satisfaction. "I was right about you. You know how to use your brain. To defeat Earth's ancient martial artists, the most important thing is to break their faith. You've done well,
and it's well worth my effort to modify your innate weapon, but how does this matter relate to the Red Moon? Go on, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor pressed. Yes, young Master Fengxi nodded and hurriedly continued, today is the day of my decisive battle with Wu Qingying. To ensure absolute certainty, I have invited Chifan, Qilin, and Miss Hongyu to secretly oversee the battle. Wu Qingying's strength is truly remarkable. In just 6 months since the ancient martial arts revolution, she has already reached a martial saint realm, a peak martial saint, comparable to peak nascent soul. Young Master Fengxi continued, initially, I didn't use the purple gold hammer, and she overpowered me. Only after using the purple gold hammer was I able to fight her. Fortunately, Wu Qingying's vitality was exhausted, and she was ultimately no match for me. I defeated her. Just as I was about to kill her, something unexpected happened. Young Master Fengxi knew the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor's methods and understood his perceptiveness. Therefore, even across the endless void, he dared not lie to the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor and told him the truth. Of course, young Master Fengxi wouldn't mention his treacherous intentions, his desire to become powerful on Earth alone. As long as he didn't raise the issue. Even if he told the truth, it wouldn't have a negative impact on him. What's the matter? Has a quasi-emperor appeared on Earth? The Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor demanded. No, young Master Fengxi shook his head, then said, I was about to crush Wu Qingying to dust, but Miss Hongyu suddenly appeared and demanded her. She wanted to use her body to strengthen herself. Knowing her relationship with you, I naturally had no objection, so I agreed, but Qilin chased after her and prevented Miss Hongyu from taking Wu Qingying. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all, see you in the next video.